4th down and 6. Olbridge gotta have it. Shotgun formation. Nugent, a lot of time. Rolls out. He's running out of space. Will roll the other way. They look, corner of the end zone. Touchdown!
Rowan heading for the touchpad with the lead. And the Bronx will take the men's 400-yard freestyle relay.
Andrews will be in shotgun. He takes the snap, fakes the handoff. He'll throw it down the left sideline. He's got a wide open receiver. He's got the touchdown.
Motion man is Simmons. Trotman throwing towards Simmons down the field, and he makes the catch in traffic for a Bearcats touchdown.
Back to pass, middle of the field. The catch is made by Britt. She's off to the races at the 40, the 30, the 20, the 10. Britt is in for the score.
Back on in, here's Yoxie. Yoxie to the backhand, trying to go to the front, makes the move and shot, and he scores!
And Racy comes set and delivers. And that's it on the ground to second. Throw to first, in time, and the ball game is over. South Shore survives a late scare, and they are the 2024 New York State Little League Baseball champions.
Live from the campus of SUNY Maritime in the Bronx, New York, PDF Sports Network is proud to welcome you into coverage of 2025 Big East football. Welcome to the spring, everyone. My name is David Pizzuto alongside John McCooch. And John, we have a doubleheader in the Big East to kick off play, and Game 1 features the Empire State Wolfpack and the Shaolin Hurricanes. Two teams familiar with the Big East last year, John. They're two of only a small handful of teams that are returning, but the Big East in its sophomore season, we're really excited about it. It's grown in footprint, it's grown in notoriety, and we're expecting a great year of football here, beginning with this kickoff.
We absolutely are, and it's always good to, start a season here alongside you at PDF Sports Network. I mean, last time we were here, we got a great football game between the greats of New Jersey and New York, but the Big East, it's a great football league. It's been happening for a while, and we'll just take a look at kind of the teams that we're going to see. We'll just take a look at that really quickly. But you mentioned the 5 returning teams. Always good to see teams returning in the Big East, especially in a spring league like this. We got 2 of them today.
Yeah, exactly. So you see on your screen here a little bit about the Big East itself. 9 total teams make up the Big East right now. And as you can see by the asterisks, 4 of them are returning this year after the first year in the Big East. And, of course, you notice the new faces, the Kingston Lions and the New England Golden Lions, the New England Black Panthers, and then, of course, you got the New York Dolphins and New York Green Wave, who we will see here in Game 2 of our doubleheader. And we'll turn the page here, John, clear this one, and take a look at a few more things style-wise with this league. Most of the teams in the league are playing a 7 or an 8-game regular season. That might write itself out during the season with each team playing 8 games, but for now, most teams are playing a 7 or 8-game regular season. Most teams during the season do have one bye, and we'll take a look at the 4-team schedule a little bit later on. Memorial Day, all the teams will be off. That'll be reserved for a makeup weekend if we do get any, weather-related cancellations or otherwise. And then it's a 2-week playoff, from there with the 31st of May, then in June, and then mid-June, you got championship. And, John, what's unique about this season is we will crown a new champion because last year's returning champs, the New York Patriots, of course, not affiliated with Big East.
Right, and that's the exciting thing about this. Every team kind of realizes now that they have an opportunity to go out and try to go win a championship, which matters a lot to these guys. Winning a championship, being able to hold that over everybody, and you get that opportunity, it starts right here. Game 1 of the Big East regular season, but that's just important. I mean, obviously, you wish that more teams were didn't have to fold and everything. But it gives these teams an opportunity to go out and just try to win a championship because they know no matter what, there's going to be a new champion.
Right, and last year the championship game was between the New York Patriots and the New York Crusaders. The Patriots knew going into the season in 2024 that it was going to be their last season in semi-pro. They went out the right way, and they did it on the field with a 22-0 emphatic championship during an undefeated season. So they get to kind of retire their team and usher in this completely up for grabs season. Ironically, the team that was in the championship game last year, John, the runners-up, they have a week 1 bye this week. So they're not even, in competition this week, and they get to kind of sit back and watch the other 8 teams kind of fight it out. And it begins with 2 teams that were on hand last year, John, the Shaolin Hurricanes and the Empire State Wolfpack, both looking for bigger and better things in 2025.
Absolutely, and it all starts right here between these 2 teams, and we'll get a really first look about these teams and what these squads are all about. You've got the Shaolin Hurricanes, and you're familiar with these squads, 2-4 last season, 5th place in the Big East, second season that they've taken play in the Big East, and they've only had that one meeting against the Wolfpack, a 26-0 loss. But Shaolin looking to take that next step, looking to put together a better season and avenge that loss from last year.
Yeah, absolutely. And what was impressive to me about the Shaolin Hurricanes last year, John, is even though they finished 2-4, they were on the outside looking in of a playoff berth last year, is that, they had a team on the field every single week. They didn't have to forfeit any games. And for a first-year program, they really set a good foundation. They certainly looked the part coming onto the field. I don't know if we can get them on a screen. Actually, they're away from the field now, but they look really sharp. They're ready. They were here early. We got here to the field about 1:30. They were here, so they were ready for this one. And, it's pretty exciting to see a team, that jazzed up about getting onto the field. We'll take a look at their opponents. They're kind of an old guard in spring football from the TFL days, John. What could we tell the folks at home about the Empire State Wolfpack?
The Empire State Wolfpack, they had a strong season last season. Second season at the Big East as well, so both teams playing their second year, 5-1. On the year. We mentioned the Crusaders before, but this team finished second place. They lost to those Crusaders in the semifinals, a 14-12 really close contest. So Empire State, they obviously had a great season, but also feel like they have a lot to prove as well after losing in the semifinals of that game. So it starts here against a Shaolin team that, if you kind of base it off of last season, Empire State feels like they should beat this team, but it's a different Hurricane squad this time around. So going to be a very close matchup here between these 2 teams. But Empire State, they're a strong team looking to run it back.
Yeah, absolutely. And the thing about Empire State, 5-1 during the regular season, but what really stands out is that semifinal loss in the playoffs. That shocked a lot of people. Empire State did beat the Crusaders during the regular season last year, but the Crusaders did get them back in that semifinal. Of course, the Crusaders then going on and falling to the Patriots in the championship. So the Empire State Wolfpack, despite a real solid initial season in the Big East last year, a little bit of a chip on their shoulder, a little bit with something to prove here after that big semifinal loss. We'll see if they can bring it like they did against Shaolin last week. And that sets us up, John, for 2 returning teams here on the field. A little later tonight at 7 p.m., we have the New York Green Wave against the New York Dolphins, 2 new teams to the Big East, not new to semi-pro, but new. So we get a little bit of the old Big East guard and a little bit of the new guard. Should be a fun doubleheader.
Right, it's a great preview to what we're going to see in the Big East for the rest of the regular season. I do like how that matchup kind of happens. The new teams playing the old teams, and the Crusaders just kind of get to take a chance and go watch. I guess they can kind of say that they're the reigning champion, as they're the only team left that played in that champion, but obviously they're going to go out and try to earn it. But Empire State, Shaolin Hurricanes, this is the first game of this doubleheader. Going to be a great one.
Absolutely, and there are 2 other games going on in Connecticut as well. Our good friends at HSG Network will carry those 4:30 p.m. kickoff time and 7 p.m. there. So be sure to hop around YouTube and get a lot of free football, but great football, and of course the entry of the Big East. John, why don't we step aside for just a moment? When we come back, you were lucky enough to visit with both head coaches for today's game. We'll come back with those interviews after this short break here from our sponsors.
A Attention local businesses and professionals. Isn't it time to elevate your game? Now you can advertise your business or product on PDF Sports Network. Your ad will appear on all of our broadcasts, including this one. Don't have a commercial? We'll make one for you, absolutely free. What better way to showcase your product and brand while supporting the best local sports, teams, and leagues? Call now at 732-723-8189 or visit us at pdfsportsnet.com.
We are back here live from SUNY Maritime in the Bronx. We are, of course, a few minutes away from kickoff here. Now, earlier, just a few beats ago, John McCooch was down field side talking to both of our team representatives. First on deck, Marley Singleton. He's the team owner of the Shaolin Hurricanes, also wearing number 2 on the field today. Let's throw it down field side with John McCooch.
Hi, I'm John McCooch, joined alongside the owner of these guys, Shaolin, right here, Marley Singleton. First off, how are we doing?
Doing very well, man. Ready to go. It's been a long wait. Last year, personally, I didn't get the first of the team, so, this is the first time for a lot of us, so ready to go.
And obviously, first game of the season, big beginning to a brand new season. How do you guys kind of lock in for the opener? First time you're playing with all your guys to start out a season.
Honestly, what we told each other from the beginning is you play every team the same way, same high intensity. Keep bright, stay hydrated, and make sure each one teach one. You got your brother's back. That's all it takes.
And about the team, what's kind of the play style of this team? Pass heavy, run heavy, defense first. What's the style?
Savagery. That's what it is. Savagery. Balance. Personally, we have 3 dominant quarterbacks: offensive line, defensive line, linebackers. We re-endeavored the whole org. So we were able to hold teams last year with 14 people. I can't imagine what they'll do with 25 or more.
And what's one player we should be looking out for today against this team?
Personally, damn, that's a hard call. There's a lot of names I can name, but you can give a shout out to number 5 right here, the running back. That's the other running back as well. And I would definitely give a big lookout for number 0, Elijah Wilson. Number 5, Justin Malik, who's the other running back as well. I would give a big eye out for them. So.
We'll see if they've got that savagery. Marley, thank you so much. Dave, we'll send it back up to you.
All right, great job, John. And, of course, we wish the very best to Marley and the Shaolin Hurricanes. Marley, of course, one of the co-owners of the team, and, of course, will be in uniform today wearing number 2. So we'll look out for Storm on the field here this afternoon. Meanwhile, John made his way across the field and got a chance to catch up with the Empire State Wolfpack's Gary Manji, the head coach for this one. John, will send it right back down to you.
John McCooch alongside head coach of this squad, Gary Manji. Gary, first off, how are we feeling about a brand new season?
Oh, it's exciting. It's fun, especially us that love football. Forget about it. We couldn't wait.
If you could describe this team, what pass heavy, run heavy, defense first, what's this team all about?
We are a running team. We are a strong Long Island running team that is deceiving. Let's call us that.
It's that New York mentality right there.
Right.
But when it comes to starting out a brand new season, first time these guys are really playing a full game together, how do you kind of keep these guys locked in to start out the year?
We unite. We find reasons to gather and create bonds. So most of the year we practice and we have unions and we study film. So anything to create bonding with the team. That's what we do throughout the year.
And Gary, if there's one player we should be watching out for, who would you point out for today?
One of our players that we should be looking out for. Well, we have our new quarterback just starting today, Jaden. So let's keep an eye out for him. Let's see how he does. It's the most important position. So
absolutely, we'll keep an eye out for him. Gary, thank you very much. Best of luck.
Thank you.
Dave, we'll send it back up to you.
All right, thank you, John. Great job down field side with Eric Manji. And while John makes his way back up to the booth here after those interviews, we can tell just from what both teams said during pregame that both teams want to get off to a good start here, but they also want to play their type of football. And as John is back here in the booth with me, thanks to supersonic speed, John.
Yep, teleportation is real.
Great job. But we heard Marley Singleton say when you asked him to categorize his team's style of play, it's just savagery. They really want to go after the ball carriers in this game and want to really bring the physical intensity.
Right, and it's interesting that they're going against a physical Empire State Wolfpack team that's kind of run first. And run first going against savagery, that's the best kind of matchup that you can see, especially in the semi-pro world that we've seen a lot. So that's the big thing to watch out for when you got Shaolin trying to stop the running attack of Empire State. It's just going to be a battle of who's more physical, who wants this more, who's conditioned better at this point of the season. Still week 1, but a lot of practices, as Coach Monty mentioned. So it's going to be a very, very interesting battle in the trenches today.
Yeah, we were told to keep our eye on 0 Elijah Wilson, who figures to be in the middle of things here for the Hurricanes all game long. And then on the opposite side, John, we know a lot about the Empire Wolfpack. They play, in the summer ball, a little bit of a different team, but mainly the same players out of the Elite Football Alliance, the Empire State Demon Knights. So we knew coming in that they're kind of a smash-mouth team. They like to win games at the line of scrimmage, playing good, fundamental, plotting football, and that's important in a game like this, especially early in the season when you're trying to establish who you are.
Exactly, and you need to send a message not just to your opponent, but to the rest of the league. You want the rest of the league to know that when you take on this team, whether you're Shaolin, whether you're Empire State, that you are going to run into a physical football team. That message of just savagery is so crucial to start out your season. I mean, they haven't played a game yet, and they're already calling themselves, a savage squad, a team ready to go out and attack. That's a big claim to make, and you've got to find a way to back it up, but if you're ready and you've got all the hype going on before the season, Big East play, it's been a long wait to get another game of Big East football. So you got an opener right here. You have to go out on the first play, really the kickoff, and show why savagery is the way you would describe your team.
Absolutely. And, John, let me ask you, this spring season is always known as a rather, compacted season. I mean, the teams, like we mentioned before, are playing 7-8 games leading right up to Memorial Day weekend. And while that's a good chunk of a season, there's not a lot of time to really get it right. You almost have to, 2 or 3 weeks from now, they're going to be in mid-season. So as a team getting on the field, for some of these teams the first time in 4 or 5 months, what are you looking for as far as checking the boxes that both of these teams have to check in order to come out here with a week 1 win?
I'm looking for chemistry early on because what we've seen a lot of the time in early season play, false starts become an issue. Delay of games can become an issue because you're not on the same page with all of your teammates. But it sounds like these two teams have been practicing a good bit, have been getting together, have been locked in to start this season. I mean, again, we mentioned how Shaolin was here. They were here before us, before the game. But we were saying, wow, we got here early. So they're ready. Their chemistry has to be on point in this one. And that's what you're looking out for both teams. Can they avoid penalties? Can they avoid mistakes and avoidable mistakes at that? You can talk about physicality, everything. These guys are conditioned. These guys are ready. They love playing football. But the fundamentals of the game, staying on schedule, making sure that everything is, again, on schedule, ready to go. I'm watching for early penalties in these games to kind of make sure that you're not beating yourself early on in the season. If it becomes an issue later on, then that's something you have to watch out for, and that's a coaching thing.
Yeah, that's a perfect analysis, John, because it always brings me back to what a certain semi-pro coach told me in a pregame interview I did a couple of years ago, which was that, at the semi-pro level, a lot of times you're not going out and winning games. You're waiting for your opponent to make a mistake so they can lose the game or they can help you win the game. And, penalties, especially the pre-snap penalties early in the season, we see that a ton. And a lot of times that's a nail in the coffin for some of these teams who ultimately struggle to get out of the gate quickly. And I think one of the things that both of these teams will need to check as far as a box in week 1 is whichever team plays the cleaner game, less penalties, less turnovers, I think is probably going to be the team that wins it as they get set here for the coin toss here at midfield.
It's like what you tell some backup quarterbacks, right? You can't win us the game, but you can lose us the game. That's the kind of thing you have to know. You don't have to win the game all the time. Just don't lose it. Don't make those mistakes. That's what you have to look out for. But I mean, it's big. It's big time to avoid those delay of games. And we see it a lot in semi-pro. We see it a lot at other levels. It's just coaching, and more coaching for these guys to get ready. But we got the coin toss coming up in just a couple of minutes here as both teams, it's a 4 o'clock kickoff. We got a bit of a delay, but it's all good.
Yep, all good. Of course, good to see our officials all here and ready to go. Handshakes going all around. We see Elijah Wilson, Freddie Carpentieri, and number 10, Liam Grapes, for the Shaolin Hurricanes. I think 81 is Tyler Sawicki for the Wolfpack. He's not on our roster. Christian Grizzle is out there as well. And I think Ty Lopez is out there for the Wolfpack. So some familiar faces. We're getting used to them. This is our 4th year of semi-pro coverage here. At least in the summer will be year number 4 for us here on PDF. So we thank all of you for tuning in here today and throughout the spring season, as we hope to get some more football on the air for you. Got some arena football coming up for you next month out of the AAL2 as well. And then when we turn the page to summer, Jersey Sharks and, of course, the EFA.
So you've watched a lot more of these teams than I have. You've been covering these squads, you know, this scene of semi-pro. I'll ask the same question to you that I asked them. What's one player to look out for both of these teams?
Well, you know, for the Shaolin Hurricanes, this is the first time I am actually seeing them.
Right.
So when Marley Singleton tells me to keep my eye on Elijah Wilson, that's exactly what I'm going to do. And then, ironically, Coach Manji saying, you know, Jaden's, you know, kicked back with a few different teams. We've seen him with Empire State before. We've seen him with the Long Island Red Devils. He's a good playmaker, likes to move in the pocket as well. It all starts at quarterback. We know that. But the defenses, too. And I'm going to be interested to see the edge rushing and how they do. And, of course, in the middle of those offensive and defensive lines, we know the Wolfpack want to run the football. We'll see what the Shaolin Hurricanes want to do with running the ball. So, you know, interesting how the interior of the defensive line stack up here and allow these teams or prevent these teams from chugging out those first downs.
And then you've got to take a look at offensive line, too. How are these offensive linemen ready? Are they in condition as well? Have they been listening to the schemes? Have they been paying attention in practice? Because a running back can be as great as he can be the most athletic player in the world. But if his offensive line is not hitting the hole correctly, is not getting those blocks right, and they're not communicating as an offensive line, which it starts with the center, then that running back isn't going to go anywhere, really. So you know, look at a team like Boise State. Obviously, Ashton Genty was a star, but that offensive line, they communicated. We'll see if both of these teams can find a way to get their offensive lines in sync as well as that run game.
And, John, one of the lost, you know, arts, you know, any level of football, and it plays out so strongly in the semi-pro game, is special teams. You know, every single game that we've covered at some point, it's been a special teams play that's been able to turn the tide, turn momentum over. A lot of semi-pro teams do not have an active kicker on the roster, and that is an absolute game changer when you do. You know, the return game, it's a part of the game that we don't spend a lot of time covering, and for good reason. There's so much talent on the field otherwise, but you bet your mortgage that there will be a special teams play in this game that's going to dictate a lot of what happens, you know, momentum-wise. So we'll keep our eye on that as well.
Most definitely. I mean, special teams, that's what wins you games a lot of the time, especially in semi-pro. Again, we're about ready to get going here. SUNY Maritime College, Wolfpack, Hurricanes. It's been a long way to get back to spring football. I mean, last time we did a game, again, 4 months ago since PDF Sports Network had a football game here. So, you know, we love hockey, but there's nothing like some football. We got 2 games today, so it's going to be pretty exciting.
Absolutely. We want to send a shout-out to Vincent Massico, who's upstairs above us, keeping the camera. It'll be tough with some of that glare that he's dealing with, but when the play goes in, Vin will zoom the camera in a little bit more to get the pickup of plays, because I'll tell you what, the Empire State Wolfpack's jerseys really, really hard to distinguish through the naked eye. It's kind of black on slate gray with a little bit of red trim. So it's going to be hard to pick up the numbers from the comforts of your screens at home, but we'll do our best here as we, you know, zoom in, you know, to get those numbers on the respective plays. And it looks like it will be number 15, David Byrne, to kick off. And back deep for the Hurricanes, number 23, Tahir Marks on the right side.
It's the trade-off we get for neon green being on the other side, which is very, very easy to see.
And it will be Justin Alvarez opposite of Marks on the opposite side of the field, on the far side of the field, lined up at about their own 20. So here we go. Kickoff of the 2025 Big East football season, year 2 of the league, and a couple of returning teams looking to make some noise. And a league that is wide open. Short kick will end up out of bounds at about the 25-yard line. And so we'll have a procedural penalty here to start things off.
That's one way to start a season.
Absolutely. It'll be placed at the 40-yard line. And, you know, that's another game within a game, John, that we talk about a lot. Usually the opening coin toss you elect to kick because you know you want to win that field position game. But a lot of teams do start from the 40-yard line out, and so you almost wonder if you're giving up field position by kicking off.
Right, it's an interesting decision to make. I mean, again, we mentioned a lot of these teams don't have full-time kickers.
Right.
It's kind of just, hey, who's the best kicker? We'll just figure it out in practice, and we'll get a guy out there. So neither team is really expecting their respective kickers to be perfect, and we got the music. They're saying, get this music off.
Well, at least to turn it down, I guess. So they were having a hard time listening, but I kind of appreciate the music, and the fans below us do as well.
Yeah, I mean, silence is only so great for so long. Kind of vibing out there, too.
All right, so here we go. Shaolin did say that they have one of 3 quarterbacks that they can use from time to time if they choose to, but it will be Bell taking it out of the shotgun here to start things off. Number 14. They get some motion. Far side to the near side. Bell has a lot of time. He's able to step up in the pocket, sheds one tackler, angling towards the corner. We'll get a gain of about 3 or 4 before he's knocked out of bounds by number 17. No name for number 17 here for the Wolfpack.
I mean, always interesting to see early on escapability from your quarterback. And we weren't too sure exactly who was going to get the start today, but clearly they've got a quarterback who's ready to run.
Jarrett Bell did have the time in the pocket, but once he saw that lane open up in the interior, decided to step through one. Good job of holding him up at the line of scrimmage in time for number 17 to polish him off. Over here on the near side. They'll go under center this time. And the give is in the backfield, and now on the sweep past the 45 to the 47. Ty Lopez making the tackle on Justin CMC Malik. It'll be a 3rd down and 4 coming up.
So a big 3rd down early in your season. Big thing to note about a lot of teams, you always look to how well do they play on 3rd down? What's their efficiency on 3rd down? And you've got kind of a third and medium here. It's an early test for this squad to see how well they play on this down and distance.
Yep, and it was Bell going to the right side of his offensive line through some traffic for the game's first running play. And then, of course, we saw Malik go off tackle right as well. Favor that side of the line, that strong side. Bell will work this time out of the shotgun. Lots of motion coming in. Now they move, tight ends move to the right side. Coming under center was Bell, and once again they'll sweep out right. Flags are down as losing his footing was Malik, and he was polished off by number 8. And we'll see what happens here at the result of this flag and what they decide to do with it. It will be against the Hurricanes. It'll be a 15-yard penalty. So 3rd down and about 17, maybe a little bit less, but either way, the Hurricanes might be forced to put the ball up in the air for the first time in this one. This is a team, John, that they did have a forfeit win under their belt last year, but they only scored in 1 game. Other than that, they were shut out 4 times in their 4 losses. And so their offense will be under a microscope here today.
And a huge moment as well. They've got a long way to go for this 3rd down play here for the Hurricanes. So another test.
They do come in tight here, only really 1 wide out. Now they split up, and Bell is going to take off, this time to the left side. He gains the line of scrimmage and gets shoved out of bounds, well short of the 1st down. Number 81 was there. So minimal gain of about 1 or 2 at most. It'll bring up a 4th and very long here. And it looks like we'll see the punt team for the first time.
So a 3 and out, not the way you want to start your season if you're the Shaolin Hurricanes, but big stand for Empire State as they get their season underway. And now we get an opportunity to see special teams. We've seen a lot of times in semi-pro where punting can become an issue. We talk about the kickers that these two teams have.
Yep, and who's going to...
If they're punting.
Yep, and it will be Grizzle back deep for the Wolfpack. Looks like that'll be Carpentieri to punt it away for the Hurricanes, who go 3 and out on their first drive. That is a bad snap, a one-hopper. Carpentieri fields it well, skies it high, and it is taken on a bounce and quickly out of bounds at about the 30. Yeah, that's a late hit out of bounds, and here comes the flag. Well late. Adrian Collymore will be the recipient of that flag. Do not have a number 23 on our roster for the Wolfpack as far as the return. Now the ball gets placed at the 42-yard line, but as a result of this flag, Wolfpack are going to set up here in Hurricanes territory.
We'll see that definitely a late hit out of bounds, and that'll draw the penalty every single time.
Absolutely. So we talked about penalties being big in a game like this, a season opener, both teams kind of feeling each other out, and number 1 penalty costs the Hurricanes, actually 2 penalties have cost them 30 yards in territory, and it sets the Wolfpack up 1st and 10 at the Hurricanes' 43-yard line.
Right, things just started here. So penalties, we talked about before the game, playing clean, already becoming an issue right now for the Shaolin Hurricanes.
Jaden Mann, who we were told by Coach Manji to keep our eyes on, under center here. Lopez directly behind him, standing at the 50. The give is to Lopez. Right side, wants to string it out. Can he gain the edge? No, he cannot. Good open field tackle there for the Hurricanes. And that was Tahir Marks making the tackle. Now, we've seen Lopez break some, John, especially when he gets to that second level. He's got a low center of gravity and gobbles up a lot of yards. But that's a loss of 1 here on first down.
I mean, he still did break a couple tackles on that play. They just happened to be in the backfield. But you do see that early ability to break tackles, make moves happen. I'd imagine the ball's going right back to him. Maybe we talked to Coach Manji before the game about the ground and pound.
Wolfpack will stay in tight here. The give, opposite side, right in the trenches. And some gang tackling there, led by Carpentieri. But that's a nice gain. Solid chunk of about 6, sets up a 3rd and 5.
And there's that ground attack that we were expecting from Empire State today. Just physical, great runs, getting your running back to the second level. And now you set up a much more manageable 3rd down for Empire State.
Yep, and that's the kind of run that gives your interior offensive line a lot of confidence here that they can move people off the ball. And when you could start running in 5- and 6-yard chunks, you're going to win a lot of games at this level.
Man, information.
Yep, exactly. And Mann, once again, will line up under center. He takes a long look at the defense and now starts to give out some directions. Under 10 remaining on the play clock. Long snap count, and we do have a flag, and it will be a procedural call against the Wolfpack. So they'll back up the 5 yards and give that run back, and it'll be 3rd down and 10 coming up.
Right, you mentioned it basically just negates the run that you just got, and just early mistakes, couldn't get the ball snapped off. Just have to play clean in these games.
So 3rd down and 10. So the Hurricanes on a 3rd and long in their direction could not convert. Now the Wolfpack, as we get yet to see our first pass of the game yet in this one.
You still could have ran the ball on 3rd and 5,
right.
too. Now you're forced to throw the football unless if you're just setting up field position.
And that was the call. Once the play was whistled dead, that was going to be a toss right. Here on 3rd and 10, we'll see if they change things up. The Hurricanes sneak up to the line. They get some pressure at first, but breaking out into the open field for a first down. The Wolfpack are able to knife it right through the teeth of the defense.
Well, I guess you can still run the ball on 3rd and 10. Doesn't matter. That's that physicality this team provides.
Yeah,
Huge run.
That was Caden Liddy with the run, and we have our first down of the late afternoon. And the Wolfpack set up inside the 30 here for the Hurricanes.
Just a great run. That hole was just wide open. Just had to go hit it. And a great first down early in this game.
And a gutsy call at that, too, on 3rd and 10 to run right up the A-gap between center and guard. Man continues once again to stay under center, but this time he will look. In the middle of traffic, the catch is made in between two defenders, and Grizzle comes down with it. He split the defense, John.
He didn't just do that. He just went up and got it. Saying, I'm the bigger man. I'm going to get a catch over you. Wow.
In between Isaiah Burrell and Justin Alvarez.
We'll see it.
Coming down with it. Yeah, we'll see it one more time.
I mean, just went up and got it. It was also a great throw. Only he could go get it and just elevate and go grab that football.
Yeah, corner underneath the route, the safety on top of it, and Grizzle in the middle. Good concentration to see that through. 1st and goal, Wolfpack. Ball spotted at about the 10. They run it right up the gut. 2nd and 3rd efforts by Lopez gets it up to about the 5-yard line. Before it was Sidibe on the tackle. Got some help from Burrell as well.
Lopez just so hard to bring down. It's becoming very obvious. And those are the type of running backs that really just get harder to take down the more you give him the football. And they're really just letting him pound the rock. You've got the ball near the goal line. Go run this football. Go use that mentality that you said you were going to come into the season with. Ground and pound, get in the end zone, start things off right for your team.
I would have no doubt here that 2 more runs are coming up for the Wolfpack. At least that's their calling card here and what they want to do over the course of a 4-quarter football game. Under center once again, man with the long count. This time the fake, and man looking to gain the pylon on his own and walks in for the touchdown. And the first TD of the Big East season belongs to the Empire State Wolfpack. Jaden Mann doing the honors, the quarterback keeper from 4 yards out.
We talked about Jaden Mann, and this looked like it might have been a busted play or just designed, but you see the speed of Mann. Everyone telling you to watch out for that guy, and you go out and make a play. Just more speed than everybody else. Yeah, that's a fake right there. That's not a busted play. That's just speed. Get to the edge. Touchdown, Wolfpack.
Unofficially 6:59 to go in the first quarter, and the Wolfpack on their opening drive of the game have come in for 6, and they will likely go for 2 here to try and get the full breadth of a touchdown. When you're running the ball well, that's what that allows you to do, John, the play action working to perfection, and man able to take it wide and walk in.
So rules-wise, is this a 1-point conversion or a 2-point?
2-point.
This is
2-point conversion.
This will be 2.
And it will be, man, now the opposite side, getting harassed, looking, and the pass was intercepted. And a good job by the Hurricanes to blow that one up. That was really blown up in the backfield by Elijah Wilson. He got the pressure in on man and keeps the Wolfpack lead to 6 here in the first quarter.
I mean, good job by man to just give it a chance to get that football out. If you're going to throw an interception, that's the one place you want to throw an interception at a 2-point conversion where it doesn't really matter. It doesn't go against your stats either, I'm pretty sure. So
yeah, and Wilson really with no real estate to do anything with it once the interception was made. So now the Hurricanes up against it, John. You know, they've had one possession offensively, and they went 3 and out, basically a -1 yard on that drive because of the penalties. And now their first drive on defense, they give up a touchdown, and it was on a short field as well.
It's still one possession game. The Wolfpack, again, they got a good drive. They got a good scripted drive. But now the Hurricanes, this is your opportunity to respond. You have to really respond on this drive. Still unofficially, like you mentioned, 5:32 left in this first quarter of play. So we're kind of getting pretty far through this first quarter already here in this one. But Hurricanes, this is an opportunity to respond. This is how you practiced all season long. Are you ready to go out and respond? I mean, you talked about how they've had struggles scoring all of last season. Now this is a drive. You've got an opportunity.
Burns sees the ball fall off the tee. But I should mention, too, John, and we were here back in November. Whatever the wind is outside, it is accelerated here at SUNY Maritime. You can tell we're right on the water. So it's pretty clear that we're going to get a lot of wind. But it's a very windy facility, and it's kind of cold as well here despite the sun. And so we're going to see the wind play tricks on the ball as well.
Yeah, and poor Vinny up there.
Yes. Well, we told him, dress warm up there.
Dress warm, get one hoodie, maybe two, three, get a windbreaker. That's why it's called that. But there's definitely a tee issue. They'll probably have to hold the ball every time.
Yeah, so Byrne will get a holder to come in and settle this one down. Could result in a shorter kick, and Burns' kick didn't really go far the first time, went out of bounds for a procedural penalty, and the Hurricanes were able to start at the 40-yard line.
I mean, this is what happens when you play a football game on the ocean.
Right.
We've had some sailboat races going on as well.
That's right. We'll talk a little bit about that in a few, as that one goes directly out of bounds. Looks like that's being done on purpose, John, if I'm not mistaken, just to guard against the return game and take that off of the table and allow the Hurricanes to start 1st and 10 at the 40.
It's an interesting strategy, basically telling the other team, hey, go out and score. Go out and score. They don't trust they'd rather have to go stop their offense than go stop a return.
Yep, and sometimes, again, and we said it before in the pregame too, sometimes that's the difference in, momentum swings is a special teams play. So don't even allow it to happen if you're the Wolfpack. And so the Hurricanes take over their second offensive series of the season, their first series 3 and out, a net of -1 on that drive thanks to penalties. And number 14, Jarrett Bell, of course, showing some legs back there, but we still haven't seen him throw the ball. Malik still right now the setback as they'll spread things out here on 1st down. Under center will be Bell, and a timeout is being motioned by the Wolfpack, and it will be a timeout called by the Empire State Wolfpack. Technically a home game for Empire State in this game, and a little later on tonight it'll be the Green Wave with an official home game against the Dolphins. That matchup between the Dolphins and Green Wave is the first ever in their history against one another.
That's going to be a fun one. A lot of stars on that field. Starting off a season, two teams that, you look at Big East power rankings, were ranked 2 and 3. So two teams that feel like they are going to be at the top of this league. They've got a great chance to go out and do that. But that's going to be an early proving game, an early test to start out the season, a big opener at 7 o'clock or whenever this game ends up wrapping up, because, we are moving through this game, but you never know. It's a game of football. It depends how this game goes in terms of how close it is. But huge game, and obviously you mentioned the doubleheader over in New Haven as well.
Yeah, our friends at HSG are carrying the Black Panthers against the Bengals in their first game at 4:30, and then at 7 o'clock, side by side with our game, the Golden Lions against the Lions. An all-Lions battle, John, going on this evening.
A lot of Lions. I don't think they communicate on that one right there. Got two teams named the Lions. The Golden Lions.
Golden Lions. One of them's gold.
One of them's gold. I don't know what the other one is, though.
Just Lions.
Just Lions. They're just no colorless lion, nothing. No
blue,
golden.
I believe, is their team color.
Okay.
Out in the flat, first pass of the game is completed, and now with a head of steam and running down the left sideline, Michael Hooks able to slide by a couple of would-be tacklers in the flat and turning that into a big gain. And ball is spotted just outside the 42-yard line, a gain of 18 on 1st down.
That's a way to get your offense going. Find a way to get a guy, get a screen, get your playmaker the football. And that's exactly what you saw happen right there. Just get your players in space.
Right.
Set up plays like that. And if you got a quarterback that could run screens pretty well, you can run that pretty often this whole season.
Yep, put the ball in your talent's hands and watch them do their magic. Of course, you always have to make that first guy miss, and Hooks did a nice job with that. Malik now, he makes a couple of guys miss at the line of scrimmage and springs forward to about the 35-yard line. Tackle was made by number 3 on the Wolfpack. Gain of about 7, however, maybe a little less, 6 on the play. So 2nd down and 4 coming up. Ball at the 36-yard line.
And we saw, that's a savage run. We talked about the savagery before. I mean, that's what you want to see if you're looking at it from a Shaolin Hurricanes perspective. Just tough running, dive for a couple extra yards at the end right there. Don't care if you're going to get some contact. We got some physical football brewing here at SUNY Maritime.
Yeah, run with an attitude, and we've seen that already here from Justin Malik. CMC, they call him on this Hurricanes team. Bell out of the shotgun. High snap, it goes over Bell's head. He's going to have to get down on this one. He overran it just a bit. And it looks like it may stay with the Hurricanes. We'll see. First indication, guys unpeeling. Now flags go down as we got a couple and now more flags. The Empire State Wolfpack came out with the football. It was Jonathan Andrade who came out with it.
I mean, this looked like Peyton Manning in the Super Bowl against the Seahawks.
Right.
Just went right over the quarterback's head, and we got a lot of laundry on the field.
Yeah, and first things first, the ball is going to be going to the Wolfpack here. They recovered the football on the game's first turnover, and then we have to unpack all of this penalty. But while they do that, you could see Bell overrunning it a little bit and had to stop short, and by the time he did, the Wolfpack were all over it. Good second look there. And it's going to be unsportsmanlike conduct on both teams. And as a result, the ball will stay right where it is, and it'll be a first down for the Empire State Wolfpack. And so with 4:11 unofficially remaining here in the first, the Wolfpack will set up shop inside Hurricanes territory for the second straight time.
So those penalties end up offsetting the unsportsmanlikes and just kind of reset. But that's a drive where Shaolin was just – they had a ton of momentum on that drive. They felt great. And, again, it starts with the center. You get a snap over the head. That could kill a drive very quickly. Not much also could have did to dive on that football. But just a rough way to start out for the Shaolin Hurricanes here this first quarter. You have a drive where you had a 3rd and 5. You end up getting backed up, and then that just happens. So now Wolfpack with a big opportunity, again, this bunch formation.
Yes, indeed. They will work tight for man here. A lot of guys in the box to give. Blown up in the backfield. The ball carrier, Kevin Bragaglia, was taken out. Loss of 2, officially 2nd down and 12.
That's a big response for this defense, for the Hurricanes. Your offense makes a mistake. You turn the ball over at about midfield. Go out and stuff a run. Give your defense some momentum. Huge stop for Shaolin.
And check that. That was Caden Liddy on the carry, number 10, not number 0 for the Wolfpack. Liddy, a great player in open space, John. He's the kind of player who can make a 5-yard run into a 50-yard run. And he's also very good coming out of the backfield as a pass catcher. Man has only thrown the one pass officially. He did try on the 2-point conversion and was intercepted. That does not count. We'll see what happens here. They do give up the middle. No, it's a fake and thrown downfield. Faked me out on the binoculars here. The intended pass to Grizzle was incomplete. Double coverage on Grizzle the other way as well. John, can we review that again? That was a good ball fake by Jaden Mann.
Definitely take a look. I mean, we've seen him make a couple really good ball fakes today already. And we saw one on that big catch, on the big run as well. And they've gotten the ball to Grizzle a couple times already today. They got him to the one big contested catch. So if you can see him in single coverage, you're going to go out and try to get him the football, make a play. As we finally snapped the ball here. But
yep, that was a good fake.
Yeah. Didn't fake out Vinny.
No, it did not.
Vinny's
tough to fake out. Vinny's
our stout
great
cameraman.
Yes, absolutely. 3rd down and 12 here. Big play for this Hurricanes defense. They stunt up the middle of the field. It is going to be a toss, and it will be Lopez who's got some room. There's a flag down on the far side of the field. Lopez inside the 30 for a first down and a lot more. We'll have to see what the result of this flag is on the opposite side of the field.
Might have been an offside on defensively. Saw them jump early.
In which case, it'll be declined, and the Wolfpack will easily take the result of the play. A gain of about 18 yards on that run.
Just about under 2 minutes to go in the first quarter.
They jumped that play, too. They tried to jump that run, but it ended up sending the defense to the right for Shaolin. I mean, everybody was on the right side, so that was a big-time setup from Empire State. Great toss play.
Yeah, a couple of guys coming in from right over center in the backfield, but the toss out wide fooled the Hurricanes. They set up just inside the 30-yard line, and once again it'll be tossed to that side. Once again, the blocking is there and close to a first down, and moving the sticks will be Ty Lopez once again.
And Ty Lopez, every time he gets the football, it just feels like it's harder to take him down. Just tough running, angry running for Mr. Lopez. I mean, he has been stout. We'll see just how he was able to do that. Another toss play.
Yep.
The toss is really working for these Wolfpack. And just, again, physicality, hit the hole, run hard. Lopez is tough to stop.
Yeah, and how many times do we see on those sweeps, John, where running backs have to make guys miss before they can even get to the line of scrimmage? But when you can hit that hole on the sweep or the toss at full speed, it is very dangerous for the defense to catch up with you running that fast. Another first down here. Oh, no, that's second down and very short, actually, as he did not get the first, just inside the 20-yard line. The ball is placed, and it'll be a sweep out to the right side and perhaps a toss here, rethinking it and going forward for the first down is Lopez. Looked like Lopez wanted to throw that for a second.
He thought about it. He definitely thought about it. But it ended up kind of working out for him because it made his defender bite just a bit.
Right. Yeah, and making the sound decision, not taking the chance of throwing that into danger.
Yep. He had him for a moment, but again, you don't want to just force it and throw an interception.
So that'll be the end of the first quarter. Our time was pretty much on par. And so the Wolfpack on a first drive touchdown, a 4-yard keeper by Jaden Mann, take a 6-0 lead at the end of one. So that's our score at the end of the first. Wolfpack up 6-0 and driving. They'll get a brand new set of downs here. Ball spotted at the 17-yard line, as we will have to battle against the sun glare where in the direction that we're going.
In my angle, it's tough to see the end zone at all. So I'll have to if you see me leaning my head forward, Dave, don't worry about me. I'm good.
No worries.
But a huge moment for Empire State as they'll just flip fields. They've already gotten right back into the red zone.
Yeah, and that's this is a big moment here for this Hurricanes defense. I mean, obviously, it doesn't look as if the Wolfpack have a kicking game, and so it's 4 downs to score. And if you're the Hurricanes, it makes it a little bit easier with the field goal off of the table. It allows you to concentrate simply on getting 4 stops here. Empire State has to score a touchdown. And they'll play out of this same formation that we've seen. Man under center, barking out some signals. That is 0 on the side there, and held up. Quarterback keeper by Man pulls forward for about a gain of 3 on the play. So second down, a long 6, short 7 here coming up for the Wolfpack.
You get a quarterback keeper, physicality continuing to be the theme for Empire State. Get your quarterback the football, let him run forward. Obviously, you've got a couple great running backs working already. But Shaolin, they've responded a couple times to these runs, but this is the part of the field where you really have to respond in the running game.
Yep, and you have to respect the arm of Man as well and his ability to move in the pocket. So multi-tools coming out of this formation here for the Wolfpack. We got motion again, and now it's Lopez on the far side, skipping through a couple of blocks inside. And do we get the signal officially? Yes, touchdown. Lopez gets his first of the season. Now, there were flags, but I believe this will be an offside against the defense again, John, and if so, the touchdown will stand, and the Wolfpack have essentially doubled their lead.
And definitely an offside here. We'll take a look at that run. You can kind of see the offside prospering early. That jump right there, that's an easy play. And a creative free play for this team as well. That's 6 points, another big-time run. This run game is just so difficult to stop when looking at it for Shaolin. Already down 12-0 early in this second quarter.
Yeah, and the Hurricanes are coming in right from the A-gap with that run blitz, John, and they're just getting burnt on the corners there. And you get an experienced runner like Ty Lopez who's able to navigate, through some blocks there and some good blocks by the receivers as well for the Wolfpack downfield. That was a 13-yard touchdown run.
And again, it's that toss. It's that toss every time. That's been working for this team. Another conversion attempt is they'll try to fail after they failed last time to try to avenge the last failure.
This time they do spread it out, and it is man looking interior, now has to take off and run with it. A soft toss into the end zone, and it is good. Caught between a couple of defenders. And we're going to try to pick up who caught it. It might have been Sawicki. It was, number 81. And that'll make it a 14-0 game. Good job by Mann to kind of stop in his tracks and find Sawicki breaking in, John.
Right, everything just kind of slowed down. Mann does a great job when he does end up passing the football. Hasn't done it a ton this game, but just slows things down offensively. That's what we saw right there. Just let that play develop. Let your man get behind that defense, go up and catch a football. Now you've got a 14-0 game here early in this second quarter.
Yeah, absolutely. And, of course, that drive coming off of a Shaolin Hurricanes turnover on the bad snap on a drive that they were starting to piece some things together. They had their first down. They got a nice 7-yard slash up the middle run by Malik, and then the drive just derailed from there. And for the for the Wolfpack, and I think I'll say that a couple of times in this game, but for the Wolfpack, John, two drives, one of 45 yards and the other one from about 47 yards out. So they've had some short fields to work with, and when you make it hurt like that, it pays the price, and the Hurricanes are paying that price right now.
And again, kicking-wise, we'll see if they end up just kicking it out of bounds again. That's been the strategy so far for Empire State, forcing Shaolin to just get the ball at the 40-yard line and go make something happen offensively. But yes, Empire State has just been dominant physically in the run game. Shaolin on their heels now in this first half. Something's got to give, though.
Yep. Now, they did lay a couple of, a little bit of groundwork on that last drive. I know it was only a couple of plays before they hit the skids with the turnover, but if they can get back to that, of course, will be important to this young Shaolin team. Byrne makes sure his players to the right and left are ready for this one, and it's going to be kicked straight out of bounds once again. That one hit the actual into the fans, and it bounced out onto the field again, but almost a souvenir for the crowd.
Yeah, I wonder if you have to give it back. I'm assuming you do.
Probably do.
Probably have to give that back.
All eyes on you to give that one back, and they do. But for the third straight time, the Hurricanes will start out at their own 40-yard line to start a drive.
If I got a football, I'm running, though. I'm leaving.
Say it again?
If I got a football, I'm running. I'm leaving with the football. I'm taking it back. UConn has a thing for their softball field where fans, if you catch a ball, you do have to give it back. So they have a tube that you can put the ball in, and it goes back into the dugout.
Oh.
It's innovation in stores.
Absolutely.
The only place I've seen have that.
Most colleges, even especially the ones that I've worked at, is you always have two guys or two gals standing outside the field of play, and their duty is to go shag the foul balls.
Yep. They had them too, but they also have
the tubes help.
The honor system. Just get it back to the dugout.
Absolutely. All right, so here we go. Hurricanes on their third drive of the game. They went 3 and out, and of course the victims of the season's first turnover the last time they had the ball. Once again, Malik, this time to the left of Bell. In motion comes Collymore. Add some extra protection, and now on the run is Bell, running for his life, and is pushed out of bounds at about the 35-yard line. That is a sack. Number 15, David Byrne, was there first. Officially a loss of 4 on the play. It'll be 2nd and 14 after the sack.
Yeah, just not what you want to do to start out a drive. Obviously, we know he's a great runner. He can make things happen with his legs and get outside. He's done it a couple times today. He's created a couple extra yards. But you have to find a way to get rid of that football. You're well outside the pocket, right next to the sideline. But this Empire State defensive line really playing fast.
What was interesting there, too, John, was they moved Collymore in motion for some pass protection on that right side of the line. And meanwhile, the blitz came in from the left. Or at least the pressure came in from the left. And that's where Bell went as well. Now 2 running backs in the backfield here with Bell. A couple of receivers on the far side. See if the Empire State bring in more players. They do it first, and they hold that one up after a minimal gain of about 1 on the play. That was Malik once again with the run. 3rd down and 13 coming up.
The Hurricanes, we haven't seen much success in the passing game for them. But now you're in a position where, again, you don't have the same luxury that Empire State does, having Ty Lopez, and you can just run the football in these situations. There will be a pass here. We'll see exactly what they're able to do with it. But, again, another situation, 3rd down and long, 3 and out potentially for Shaolin.
Yep, and now if you're the Wolfpack, you also have your choice here. Do you send pressure in at the quarterback, or you have the luxury of keeping 7-8 guys in coverage as well on a what should be an obvious passing down here? And now we have a timeout called by the Hurricanes.
Definitely want to talk this over because, again, what's worked for you so far in this game, and it's still very early, but what's worked is the screenplay. That big screenplay that we saw earlier in this game really worked out in the first quarter for them. Throwing the ball down the field, not as much. So if you're Empire State, maybe you don't want to send a ton of pressure because a screen pass will just go right past you. But if you don't think they're going to run that screen pass, you can send 5 or 6 if you truly want to because, again, you've seen the protection for Shaolin. You've broken it a few times before already in this game. So you might as well send a couple extra guys, send the heat, send a message.
We'll see what they do here as the Hurricanes called the timeout. So they really want to discuss this here and keep the chains moving if they can. This is a big play here and a big moment of the game. Still in the early stages of the second quarter. This game is just a baby. And the Hurricanes here with a chance to claw their way back into this one. And as we restart, it will be Bell working out of the shotgun. Checks the wrist for the play. A couple of receivers here on the near side. You can see getting adjusted to what the play call is. Now they go trips here on the left side here. Bunched up right at the line of scrimmage. It is Collymore coming in motion once again. Now breaks back into the flat. Stepping up in the pocket is Bell. Bell gains the 40. The 50, drops his shoulder and gains the first down. A little bit of over pursuit in the backfield for the Wolfpack. They got great pressure, John, but wise decision there by Bell to tuck it down, and then when he had to drop the shoulder, he did to extend for the first down.
That's the risk you kind of take when you get it. They rushed 4, but they still played pretty back on that play, thinking that he's just going to go try to pass that football. But you've got a quarterback with speed. Someone's got to spy that play and at least check the runner, check the quarterback run there, because that's really one of the only 3 ways they could have realistically gotten a first down. But great play by Bell.
Absolutely, and a play that you felt almost that they had to have there, John.
Absolutely.
And if the Hurricanes are able to work themselves back into this game in this half, that's going to be a play that we circle in the box score the next day as a big one. Bell getting it done with his legs to this point. The one completion only. Other than that, it's been a run-heavy attack here for the Hurricanes. As we approach 10 minutes to go here in the second quarter. Malik to Bell's right. Bell has good time in the pocket, looking sideline, and it's overthrown and nearly intercepted. Number 12 with a good read on it. That one hung up there. You wonder if the wind had something to do with it, John, because Grapes was in the neighborhood. He had kind of split the defenders there working towards the sideline, but that ball kind of got caught up in the middle of the field.
Definitely. It kind of hung in the air just a little bit. Both players had issues tracking this football. Just goes right through the breadbasket. And a near interception. So Bell, after making the play of the game so far for Shaolin, almost gives the football right back to the Wolfpack.
Yeah, and that one just had a little bit too much loft on it, John, in my opinion anyway.
Yep.
If that one's thrown tight on a rope in Grapes' direction towards the sideline, that could be a big play. Either way, there was good protection for Bell on that last drop back. He had a lot of time to navigate the field. A couple players in motion now, left to right, as Bell wants to work under center. Bell gets it, gives it off to Malik. Malik with a good lane on the right side, and he pulls forward for a gain of 5. Be a third and a little bit longer than 5 here on this one, between 5 and 6, but still third and a little bit more manageable here for the Hurricanes.
So now the big question is, what do the Hurricanes do now? Are they going to stick with a run? We saw Empire State have about a 3rd and 5. We were wondering if they're going to pass the football or not. They got a big run out of their offense. See what the decision is here in terms of the call.
Yep, Bell came all the way to the sideline to get the call here. And relays it in. Remember, he is a threat to take off on his own as well. So if that Wolfpack pressure comes in and kind of overlaps Bell, he'll probably step up into the pocket. And you wonder if they'll keep that spy on him, John, for this one, having been burnt a couple of times with his legs. 2 runners in the backfield. The give is to Malik underneath. Malik has to make one-man miss, drives in towards the first down marker. He is a little bit short. Might be about a yard, a full yard, maybe a little bit more. It'll be 4th and very short here.
And I'd imagine very easy decision to just go for it here. Field position-wise, probably going to get the ball about the same spot for Empire State, whether you score or not. So we will definitely see that maybe Bell can get a keeper here, try to get this first down, get a yard. Just depends who you're most confident in to break a tackle maybe. Just get down into the trenches and get about a yard and a quarter, if that.
Right. Looks to be about a full yard away from a first down. 4th down and 1. Big play here on both sides. Once again, they'll work with 2 running backs to the right and left of Bell. Wolfpack cheat in towards the line. We have whistles before the play. And if that's a false start, that'll put the ball back 5 yards. And to whistle that one dead, that's indeed what it was. So the Hurricanes, with a very costly penalty, makes a 4th and 1, a 4th and 6.
And they were going with that quarterback keeper with Bell. They were trusting their hot runner. But now, again, one of those mistakes that you can't make this early in the season. A big false start. Just you had a 4th and 1 opportunity and just kind of soiled that away with a big penalty. 5 yards. The one time you don't want to have a 5-yard penalty. 4th down to 1.
Yep.
And now, again, they'll go for it.
I don't see Carpentieri coming into the game, so indeed the Hurricanes will go here. They actually want to get back in their huddle here. A little bit of extra discussion, but we are going to have a timeout for the Hurricanes. Pretty wise decision there, as had a couple of players unsure about what to do there. So with 6:55, 6:39 remaining in the first half, another big play here on 4th down.
I mean, again, you have to call a timeout there because this is really the play of your half. Could be the play of your game because Empire State, they've been driving on you all game long so far. You're down 14-0. You're at around midfield. You have an opportunity to get a first down and continue this drive. And if they get this first down, they can expire really most of the rest of the second quarter if they drive the way that they've been driving throughout this one. So really, you look at the rest of this game, this is a big 4th down that you're going to look back at and think of.
Yep, remember they converted a 3rd down and long as well with the legs of Bell. And we'll see where they go with this one here after a long conversation. Remember, they had the long conversation prior to that big 3rd down conversion as well. See if they can make it 2 for 2 here.
like the 45-yard line.
They'll have to get a little bit of a chunk here. 4th and mid-range. Officially 6 yards.
I'd still expect Bell to take this football one way or another.
Right, either through the air or with his legs. Again, the Wolfpack show blitz. Now they back off just a little bit. Long count here by Bell. They rush 4 only. Bell stands up in the pocket again. Now wants to throw. Middle of the field. The catch is made for a first down. Good vision that time, hooking up with Grapes in the middle of the field. And, you know, John, that's a nice play by Bell because we see so many times at this level, once the quarterback decides he's going to run, it's a run 9 times out of 10. But to be able to lift your eyes, elevate here, find your open man in the middle of the field, that's a nice play by Bell in open space.
It's great patience. Patience is always rewarded in the game of football. You just have to be aware of what's going on around you. It's exactly what Bell was doing. Aware of what's going on around him, aware his receiver's probably going to be in front of him if he's doing the right thing. Fakes the defender out, forces him to come up, and that's a first down. That's how you convert a first down if you're Bell.
Coming off of the timeout, they are able to convert. In motion. Grapes again now stops, and that one's too elevated in his direction, and that will be an incomplete pass. It'll be a 2nd down and 10 coming up.
Kind of works out because Grapes probably would have got blasted and probably would have lost maybe a couple yards if Empire State's able to make a tackle. So an incompletion, not the worst thing that could have happened on a play that gets a little bit broken. Now 2nd down and 10. And Bell's got to make another play on this drive.
Yeah, so once again, he receives the call from the sideline, runs it up to the huddle. So a pass earlier in the first quarter to in Hooks' direction. He's the one here on the near side of your frame, right at the corner of your screen. See if they involve him in the action here. Here they come in on the blitz and the delayed handoff to Malik. Malik almost got through the arms of Lopez. Lopez sees him through, however, down to the 33-yard line. That just felt like it was going to lead to more, John, but a nice open field tackle by Lopez.
Absolutely. It did feel like it was going to lead to maybe a little bit more, maybe a couple more yards, but great way to just stay alive. Keep those legs churning. Didn't lead to really enough yards, but it's good to see for this team. I kind of did, had a couple struggles running the football. Now they're starting to find the way that they want to run this offense. I mean, you look at the rest of the year, how this team's going to play. They're going to play through this quarterback run. They're going to allow Bell to continue to work, but if you can kind of force the defense to always be ready for that, that allows the running game to open up a lot more. And we saw it right there. But again, not breaking out the big run, but they're able to get those 3-yard gains.
This is working out to be a 10-plus minute drive here for the Hurricanes. But 3rd and 8 here, another 3rd and long coming up here for Bell. 4 wide receivers, 2 out, flank to each side. They hold up. Bell looking down, middle of the field, it's intercepted. Intercepted by Lopez, and he is spilled down at about the 28-yard line. Turnover number 2 for the Hurricanes. The Wolfpack will take over with just over 3 minutes to go in the half.
He had another option on this play, too.
Yeah, we'll see the replay as you cue it up here, and we'll see.
He had an option. It looked like he had an option closer to his right side on this one. Just couldn't find it.
Yeah, well, look at the slot receiver. He comes back into the backfield here. Yep. That could have been his out here. And there it was. And instead he decides to go down the field. That's the play that kind of worked on the 4th and 6, if you remember, John, but not that time. 2:59 to go.
Now, it looks like that slot receiver did commit a false start, but we're not going to mention that.
Yeah, I thought so as well.
So he jumped a bit early,
now,
but he had that out.
Perhaps the only silver lining here is that the Wolfpack are starting in the worst starting field position of the game for them at their own 27-yard line. 2:59 to work with. We'll see if that's enough time here for the Wolfpack to put something together. Up by a couple of scores, and the recipients of their second turnover of the half. Under center, it's Mann. He's going to keep it himself, looking on the near sideline here in the direction of Liddy. That was well overthrown. Caden Liddy, the intended receiver, and tracking him was Wilson.
Yeah, that ball was kind of sailing out of bounds, and the wind's coming this way. So if you're going to throw a football towards the right sideline, that's going to happen. That ball's going to sail a little bit. You might have to put a little, less juice on it if you're going to throw the ball in this direction. That's going to be something to note because these fields flip eventually, every quarter.
Yep.
So coming down towards the right side, you've got the wind blowing in that direction.
Yeah. Yeah, wind, if anything, is blowing from right to left, but it is blowing, of course, from the outside in to your screen as well. Something to keep in mind here. Second down and 10 from Mann, who once again is under center. Sweep left side this time, and once again with a head of steam, Lopez makes one man miss, but held up just outside the 35-yard line. So a couple steps closer to a first down here. We'll bring up a third down and short. Now Mann will have a lot of options here on third and short as we inch closer to the 2-minute warning.
Plenty of options for this team right here, the Wolfpack. I'd imagine they're going to run the football, but Mann's a playmaker. It's a matter of who's going to run this football. That fake got them that 2-point conversion. You can run that play again, most likely, if you want to, but maybe not at this point of the field, but you can. There's a lot of options.
2-minute warning.
Yep.
Yeah, so we have a 2-minute warning that was whistled up. So we'll reset our scoreboard to 2 minutes. 3rd and 2. And, of course, that's the other thing about this, too, John, is if you don't get the first down here, you don't want to leave any time, really, for the Hurricanes to do much.
No.
So you'd almost expect them to stay on the ground here. The Hurricanes do still have one timeout remaining.
No need to expire it because of the 2-minute warning. You get some time to kind of worry about this, talk it over.
Neither team going to their respective sidelines here. They just come right back to the line of scrimmage here. 3rd down and 2. A lot of traffic in the backfield, but the give is on the near side and enough for the first down before going out of bounds. Number 24 on the carry, another player that we do not have on our roster. We received the roster from the Wolfpack just a few minutes before the game. They have a lot of players who were unassigned numbers, and number 24, one of those players. But his first carry of the 2025 season yields a first down here for the Wolfpack. You get another look at it. Good job in the backfield of disguising that run. It did stop the clock with 1:51 to go.
A ton of energy, too, on that celebration right there. He's
Fired
excited to
up.
get that first carry. And big that it's a first down. Keeps this drive alive. But now they've got to kind of start to work a lot quicker here. They did get out of bounds on that play, though.
Wolfpack do have 2 timeouts. The give once again is to 24. The opposite side. Big open field hit. Felt that one. Adrian A.D. Collymore laying the wood.
I felt that up here. That's a big-time hit. Wow. We got to see that again, Dave. That was
absolutely. If you could slow it down just a little bit, too, John, we'll see if we can
get the true slow-mo going here because this is just try to time this up because what a play. Oof. That's going to hurt tomorrow morning.
Popcorn kernel meets the heat, and you get popped. Oh, got some movement there by the Wolfpack. And their first penalty in quite some time for the Wolfpack as well, as barring that first drive, they've been able to stay pretty clean out there. Now, we mentioned before the Wolfpack with 2 timeouts officially remaining here in the first half. We have 1:08 to go. Clock will restart here. 2nd down and 13 coming up.
You have to imagine that they're also going to start throwing the football here. We've seen a lot of running, trying to fake around, end around, and all that. But now it's time to start throwing this football because you only got a minute, about 8 left to go.
Yep, they'll need some big chunk plays here. Under center Man will look towards his left. He has to step up in the pocket. A lot of heat coming from the Hurricanes. Minimal gain, gets back to about the original line of scrimmage. It'll be 3rd and 10 from there. Clock has been stopped on a timeout. At this point, it's an official timeout until we get a signal. There's officially 32 seconds left in this first half. And I'm wondering here, was this a timeout taken by the Hurricanes, John, or no, by the Wolfpack? Okay.
Yep.
So both teams with one timeout remaining. And you get the sense here that the Wolfpack, with an opportunity to kind of hang one high here, looking for either the defensive foul or, of course, the big play on a reception. But otherwise, there's not much time for much else. Again, with the kicking game off of the table, it's touchdown or bust. So this is about a 3rd down and 58 coming up.
Yeah, and the Hurricanes do still have a timeout, but I'd imagine if the Wolfpack, let's say they were to run the ball here, you have to imagine that they wouldn't. Thank you, Dave.
Yep.
You have to imagine that they wouldn't call a timeout and try to get the ball with about 20-something seconds left and let things go. So if you want to just hold on to this 14-point lead heading into halftime, I don't think anybody's going to complain about that. That's probably what I would do if I'm the Wolfpack. Just try to get to halftime, 14-0. You don't want to risk a play. We've seen fumbles. We've seen interceptions. Obviously, the Wolfpack are the ones forcing those plays. But going into halftime, 14-0 against this team, not a bad place to be.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, both teams have only had the ball 3 times in this first half. The Hurricanes with a 3-and-out and a couple of turnovers. And the Wolfpack are trying to make it 3 for 3. And their offensive drives, they just might run out of time here. But first things first, they need to convert a 3rd and long. 2 wide receivers here on the near side, 2 up top as well. Man will work out of the shotgun. Play clock winding down. Lopez steps from left to right. They go middle of the field. The catch is made by Sawicki, and he falls close to the first down marker. This will be really close. And it looks like it will be a timeout called by the Wolfpack. Now, they did not get enough for the first down here, John. So we're looking at a 4th and 1 with 26 seconds left in this first half. Now, what's interesting here about this, John, is that you call the timeout, so you have none left. As you get the other look at it and see how short indeed Sawicki was.
It's about a yard.
Yeah. But if you go for this here and don't get it, you're going to leave the Hurricanes with 1, possibly 2 plays left with a timeout. And if you decide to punt this away, maybe that's the more sound decision here. But, of course, then you leave the special teams play on the table.
Right.
So lots to think about here on 4th and 1, coming off of a timeout.
I mean, the Wolfpack have been confident giving the Hurricanes the ball at the 40-yard line. How much of a difference really is it right now to what they'd usually just give the Hurricanes when they score and kick it off and go out of bounds? So at this point, you might as well go for it. Try to give yourself an opportunity to go score again and add to this lead and basically seal this game before halftime even ends. But
the other layer here, too, John, though, is that if you run the football for the first down, you have to line up quickly, spike it, and maybe get one more play.
Right, no timeouts left for the Wolfpack.
Correct, absolutely. And it is Lopez to the left of man, who will continue to work out of the shotgun. Same formation as 3rd down. Long snap count, and we have a false start. So now it'll be a 4th and 6. We've seen this before. And does that change the decision here for Coach Manji and the Wolfpack?
It might. It depends how confident you are in their punter. If you're confident in your punter to get this ball to at least the 25-yard line, let's say, then you can punt this football. If not, you go for it. This ball would still be at around midfield. If you trust your defense, you're confident that the Hurricanes are not going to be able to score if you give them the ball with about 17, let's say, seconds left in that situation, maybe a bit less.
21 seconds remaining in the half. It's a 4th and 6 for the Wolfpack, who are going, and we have another flag thrown down here. And was that an illegal substitution, perhaps? 1, 2,
so we just kind of reset.
12 players.
Yep.
On the defense, you can count them. Yeah, there they are. And so the 5 yards, we'll give it right back, and it'll be a 4th and 1 again.
Wish I had the marker so I could circle all the players
right.
on
You
your
need
screen.
the telestrator.
Right.
The future of PDF Sports Network. We'll get the telestrator going.
Have to up the budget a bit for that one, but would be fun.
All right, 4th and 6 becomes 4th and 1. We'll do this again. Long count for Man. He's going to pass all the way, looking middle of the field through traffic. There's the catch made inside the 25, but now they're up against the clock. They'll have to come back and try and spike it. The Wolfpack cannot stop it here. We are under 10 seconds to go. Man under center will spike it. One play left in this one, in this game's first half. So the ball spotted just inside the 25. Ball spotted at the 24.
Wait, they did, about a second
1
left.
second left. Yeah,
wow.
So we've gotten the signal up here, and Earl has put the clock down to 1 second.
1 second to go.
Now, obviously, barring a penalty here, this should be the final play of the first half, barring an untimed down, which we've also seen here on PDF Sports Network from time to time.
Right. And one thing to note, it shows how well these two that the Wolfpack on their side, how well they practice. Because you can tell that they've practiced that situation before. They've worked on getting down, getting to a spike. It was necessary in that moment. Now you give yourself an opportunity with a second left.
Yeah, all 11 guys knowing the urgency, getting back to the line of scrimmage. Here we go. Last play of the first half. They look. End zone vicinity. It's intercepted. There is a flag down at about the 5-yard line. But Carpentieri now on the move, and he gets spilled just outside the 30. So now, pending the investigation on the flag, that could have done it for the first half. We will see. Because remember, if this is a defensive penalty, we can have an untimed down from a little closer in. All eyes on the white hat. 12 on the field again.
Again. Wow.
So now we'll have an untimed down. More drama here.
Plenty of drama.
We weren't going to get let off the hook that easy in this first half. And it negates a pretty good play by Carpentieri, kind of sitting down in that zone at about the goal line, making the play.
Gives, again, the Wolfpack, again, get another opportunity.
Yeah, we spoke about this as well, about first game and ironing out the fundamentals, making sure you got the proper packaging on the field, eliminating the pre-snap penalties, and that's come up here to bite this Hurricanes team. Ball spotted at the 12-yard line. So that ends up being legal participation was the call. So half the distance penalty. Puts it at the 12-yard line. Here we go. Spread formation. Man has some time looking in the flat towards the pylon, elevating incomplete. And we have a flag. Flag thrown against Tahir Marks. He had his back towards the ball. The ball ended up hitting him in the back of the jersey. And now we're going to have a ball spot at the 1 with another untimed down coming up.
Wow. I mean, yeah, there was just no play on the ball in this situation. I mean, this is the play you want to have. Just go get a fade route, go try to get it, and yeah. Just
Never
had his back to the whole way. Yep.
Never did look back to the ball. And now everything is on the table here at the 1-yard line. And let's see what the Wolfpack draw up.
The endless second quarter is what we have on our hands.
The endless final play.
Yeah.
Actually, the ball is spotted, John, at the 6.
Okay. So it
So
kind of takes
that
just a regular
changes
run,
things a little bit. Yeah,
takes a Ty Jones run off the table, basically. Should have been half the distance to the goal on that penalty, not just at the 1. So we find out how they do pass interference rules now.
Yeah, it ends up being a half the distance call. Man under center, the sweep to Lopez, driving towards the pylon, untouched into the end zone. And Lopez with his second touchdown of the half. And the Wolfpack on the untimed down elevate their lead to an even 20.
So I guess I was wrong. It does not take that run off the table because they just got 6 points out of it. Another toss. It's worked time and time again for this squad, and no one there. They were not ready for it. They were assuming pass all the way, this defense. But they stuck with the play that's worked all game long.
Back-to-back penalties lead to 2 untimed downs. for the Wolfpack. They had it, remember, 1 second left at the 24-yard line. They end up having it at the 6 thanks to 2 penalties. And that'll be much maligned for this Shaolin Hurricanes team at the half. 20-0 is our score with the 2-point conversion pending. Again, with no time on the clock either way at the end of this play. And now we have a flag down.
And we have another flag.
And it'll be a delay on the Wolfpack.
Yeah, we've had 0 on the clock for what feels like more than we have had time on the clock.
And how about the Wolfpack, John? They scored inside the first minute of this half.
Right.
And they didn't get the ball back until about 3 minutes to go, or maybe even less, about 2 minutes almost.
About a 9-10 minute drive.
Yeah, they drive down the field in just a couple of minutes, and they've got 14 points already in this quarter, and they've only had the ball about 3 minutes in this quarter. They go the other way to Grizzle. Grizzle on the opposite side, working towards the pylon, and is in there walking to make it a 22-0 game.
He's got some dance moves, too.
So that will do it for the first half. Wolfpack get the ball 3 times in this first half, and they end up scoring touchdowns on all 3 of their drives, and they are on their way. We are at halftime here, 22-0. The Empire State Wolfpack leading the Shaolin Hurricanes. We will step aside for the full breadth of a commercial break. When we come back, John and I will break down our game's first half and get you ready for half number 2. Once again, your halftime score here live from SUNY Maritime. It's the Empire State Wolfpack 22 and the Shaolin Hurricanes nothing.
Attention, local businesses and professionals. Isn't it time to elevate your game? Now you can advertise your business or product on PDF Sports Network. Your ad will appear on all of our broadcasts, including this one. Don't have a commercial? We'll make one for you, absolutely free. What better way to showcase your product and brand while supporting the best local sports, teams, and leagues? Call now at 732-723-8189 or visit us at pdfsportsnet.com.
Multiple studies have shown that marijuana can slow both driver reaction and response time, which can be really dangerous. He's here. He's here. Wait. What? I can't drive. Why? I'm high. Oh.
You Know I'm Right is the podcast that uncovers the origin stories of some of the biggest names in sports, media, entertainment, and pop culture. On the show, hosts Nick and Joe walk guests through the retelling of their humble beginnings, covering an array of topics from specific interests and hobbies to personal opinions regarding each facet of their industries. You Know I'm Right offers insight on how to adapt and advance, and offers alternative advice as opposed to a one-size-fits-all strategy. Above all else, the number one goal of You Know I'm Right is to offer listeners an exclusive behind-the-scenes vantage point not found anywhere else through its increasing list of professional connections. With a following that continues to grow daily, You Know I'm Right is transforming into a must-listen podcast in the right place at the right time. Find the show on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio Podcasts, Amazon Music, YouTube, Twitter, TikTok, Facebook, and Instagram. You do not want to miss an episode of You Know I'm Right.
When it comes to making plans, you are the best. The same way you plan each detail for those moments. Start planning to protect you and your loved ones from a natural disaster. Protecting your family is the best plan you can make.
The EFA is proud to be sponsored by KD's Black Magic Seal Coating. At KD's, we specialize in residential and commercial seal coating, crack filling, pothole repair, parking lot striping, and much more. Our licensed and insured team treats your project with great care and free estimates always. Contact Corey today at 631-562-8865 or email mrkd8985@gmail.com.
Great having you. Incredible women. I wish they had those kind of cool careers for women when we were growing up.
So in this flashback, we're all the same age?
Yeah.
What does everyone want to be when they grow up?
If I say 2 jobs, do I get extra credit?
No.
I want to make immersive video games. I want to revolutionize 3D printing. I want to analyze data from the cloud.
I want to be a meteor.
You mean meteorologist?
No.
That's great, Al. Follow your dreams.
For the record, I was a baby in the 70s.
Unbeatable Tires and Accessories LLC is your tire for all seasons. Visit us 7 days a week and call us now at 347-879-3100. A tire for all seasons at Unbeatable Tires and Accessories, official partner of the Elite Football Alliance.
Here you go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You can't have football without barbecue, and there is no barbecue without the Rib Room's Black's Barbecue, official partner of the Elite Football Alliance, serving up rib plates, chicken plates, and combo plates now. To get your official Black's Barbecue order, call 347-837-5762 or Facebook direct message Sean Kelman.
Ever hear the one about the frog? Put a frog in a pot of boiling water and it'll jump right out. But put a frog in a pot of cool water and slowly heat it up, and that frog will boil. It's a lie. But as a metaphor for us and all that we go through as veterans,
real-world experience.
it's a story that rings true. We make excuses for how we feel. We push everything down. We tell ourselves the lie that it's easier to stay in that boiling water, to disconnect. And some days, maybe, it is. But you've never been interested in easy. Reaching out is hard. Do it anyway. You're not alone. You've got this. You are not a frog.
Find resources at va.gov/reach.
Attention local businesses and professionals. Isn't it time to elevate your game? Now you can advertise your business or product on PDF Sports Network. Your ad will appear on all of our broadcasts, including this one. Don't have a commercial? We'll make one for you, absolutely free. What better way to showcase your product and brand while supporting the best local sports, teams, and leagues? Call now at 732-723-8189 or visit us at pdfsportsnet.com. Attention local businesses and professionals. Isn't it time to elevate your game? Now you can advertise your business or product on PDF Sports Network. Your ad will appear on all of our broadcasts, including this one. Don't have a commercial? We'll make one for you, absolutely free. What better way to showcase your product and brand while supporting the best local sports, teams, and leagues? Call now at 732-723-8189 or visit us at pdfsportsnet.com.
Multiple studies have shown that marijuana can slow both driver reaction and response time, which can be really dangerous. He's here. He's here. Wait. What? I can't drive. Why? My. Oh.
You Know I'm Right is the podcast that uncovers the origin stories of some of the biggest names in sports, media, entertainment, and pop culture. On the show, hosts Nick and Joe walk guests through the retelling of their humble beginnings, covering an array of topics from specific interests and hobbies to personal opinions regarding each facet of their industry. You Know I'm Right offers insight on how to adapt and advance, and offers alternative advice as opposed to a one-size-fits-all strategy. Above all else, the number one goal of You Know I'm Right is to offer listeners an exclusive, behind-the-scenes vantage point not found anywhere else through its increasing list of professional connections. With a following that continues to grow daily, You Know I'm Right is transforming into a must-listen podcast in the right place at the right time. Find the show on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio Podcasts, Amazon Music, YouTube, Twitter, TikTok, Facebook, and Instagram. You do not want to miss an episode of You Know I'm Right.
When it comes to making plans, you are the best. The same way you plan each detail for those moments, start planning to protect you and your loved ones from a natural disaster. Protecting your family is the best plan you can make.
The EFA is proud to be sponsored by KD's Black Magic Seal Coating. At KD's, we specialize in residential and commercial seal coating, crack filling, pothole repair, parking lot striping, and much more. Our licensed and insured team treats your project with great care and free estimates always. Contact Corey today at 631-562-8865 or email mrkd8985@gmail.com.
Welcome back here to SUNY Maritime, home of the Privateers, where we are at halftime. The Empire State Wolfpack with a 22-0 lead over the Shaolin Hurricanes. And John, we would have liked to have been back a little bit sooner, but we were talking about the wind and how fierce it is here.
Yep.
The wind knocked down our camera tripod and shattered our camera in about 3 different pieces.
Wow.
Now, thankfully, I don't know how, but it's still working. And the picture that you see on your screen is...
It looks the same as before the camera.
Exactly. So we got it working, and that's why we had to take an extra couple of minutes because we had to deal with that. Now, thankfully, we have a backup camera. It's the one that's stationed on the scoreboard that's keeping the time on this one. But, John, impressions of the first half here. Obviously, it's been one-sided, but a lot of takeaways.
I mean, the big takeaway is the Empire State Wolfpack. They are ready to avenge last season. It was a shock that they lost to the Crusaders in the semifinal. This team locked back into the offseason, realized what they needed to fix, and they look dominant right now. And Shaolin, they've got a lot to figure out offensively, trying to work back to find some offense. They didn't score a ton last season. They only scored in 1 game last year. So it's kind of 2 teams meeting at interesting points in their schedules here. But it's just a big moment for this squad of Empire State to show out that they are going to be a dominant team in this league this spring.
And the thing is, John, too, Empire State doing what it needs to do. They had the ball 3 times. They scored 3 times. But the Shaolin Hurricanes helped them out a lot as well. I mean, that last drive alone, a couple of untimed downs to end the first half, and that's because of the penalty situation, you have to think that is something that they are going to have to clean up in this half.
And really for the rest of the season, too, both teams had some sloppy penalties in big situations. You had a fourth and Empire State got lucky when it came to the untimed down situation because they had a false start that pushed it back to 4th and 6, would have made it a tough play, but then an illegal participation, I believe, was what made it 4th down and 1 back again. So they kind of went 4th down and 6, or 4th down and 1, 4th down and 6, then back to 4th down and 1. So they got a bit of a break on that play that ended up getting them a touchdown at the end of the first half. So Empire State also has a ton to clean up, too, when it comes to their penalties.
100%, and the Empire State Wolfpack will get the ball first here to add a little bit of insult to injury here. Carpentieri will have to send it away to get half number 2 started, but not without the ball coming off the tee once again, a recurring theme. We told you about the wind here at Maritime. It is a factor, there's no doubt. It is a factor here on the field, and
it won't stop being a factor. It's only really going to get more windy as the day turns to night. Kind of getting to that point. We're in, the old daylight savings, so the sun sets a bit later, but it's getting there.
So Carpentieri will meet the ball, and that one goes over everybody and continues on its way out the back of the end zone, and it'll be ruled a touchback. First one of the game in that department, and the Empire State Wolfpack will have their worst starting field position of the season. That's right, of the game and of the season. The first couple of touchdowns that they scored were from about 45 yards out and 47 yards out. Their last drive started at their own 27-yard line. This will start at the 25.
And the first time that we've seen Shaolin kick the ball today so far, because they obviously received the first half kickoff. And interesting to see that they actually did go and kick the ball down the field. They didn't just kick it out of bounds and let things rock there. Because we haven't seen the Hurricanes score yet. We also have not seen them kick off at all today. So we know they have a kicker. We know they have someone who can kick the ball.
And, the other part of this all, too, John, is, people will see the score and say 22-0. And, the game's certainly not over. But if you're the Hurricanes, again, you can't think about all 22 points here. It has to start with just getting the Wolfpack off the field when they have the ball on offense. And they've been victimized by the pass, by the run, and they've been victimized with penalties. Man under center to get their fourth drive started. It starts the third quarter. Pitch out. It looks like Grizzle took that snap, and he goes wide to about the 30-yard line, gets about 4 or 5 yards out of that one.
And they have not changed their philosophy heading into the second half, these Empire State Wolfpack. It's just run this football, run it down the throats of Shaolin and the Hurricanes.
There was a flag down after all that, John, so it will be against the Wolfpack.
Didn't see that one initially, so a good run turns into a play that gets backed up. This is pretty far back, too. Might have been a holding.
Yeah, that looked like an illegal block below the knees. Backs him up to the 15, so it'll be 1st and 20 coming up. One thing that all the coaches agree on when we speak to them is that they all want to finish stronger than how they start. But these, first appearances they're important too. They kind of set the tone for where you want to go from here on out during the season. And week 2, of course, starts the process of trying to fix some errors as well. Man out of the shotgun, looks to his left and down low to Grizzle, who was hanging out underneath the soft zone, gets about 5 yards of it back.
Solid play call there. Again, you don't have to get it all back, all 20 yards back in one play. Just go get a quick, kind of not a chunk play, but just, a quick short gain. Dink and dunk, get down the field. You've still got, another down to work with here, 2 downs to work with here too. Empire State, smart call. Just dump it, get a few yards, make it a bit more manageable.
Yeah, positive yards. We say it a lot, too. On first down, it's important not to go backwards. And when you have a penalty that sets you up 1st and 20, you just want to get some of it back, get you to a 3rd and manageable if you can. They do work out of the spread here with man continuing to work out of the shotgun. Gets a long look, some pressure, developing that one high and elevated and incomplete. Out past the outstretched arms of the intended receiver.
Now, both quarterbacks get a pretty good excuse for missing throws, and it's called the wind. But it did look like that kind of got elevated a bit extra. It's a lot tougher to throw a ball on the rope when you've got 25-mile-an-hour winds blowing in the other direction. So it's going to be something for these quarterbacks to watch out for.
Yeah, and for what it is worth, the Wolfpack are working against the wind. You can almost see how the wind is working with the first down markers, too, of how they're bellying a little bit.
I wish we had some leaves on these trees. They usually is an easy telltale sign. You can tell also by the way the waves go in the water.
Right. 3rd and long here. Once again, out of the spread come the Wolfpack. Lopez in there to support with the blocking, and it leads to a good pocket down the sideline and incomplete, very nearly intercepted. You can make the case it should have been by Xavier Green. Either way, it looks like for the first time in today's game, the Wolfpack are about to go 3 and out, and the Hurricanes force a punt for the first time.
Again, that definitely should have been intercepted. It's not the easiest play in the world to make for a defensive back, but you get the ball right on your chest. It's not grease, it's the wind that's the issue.
Right.
So got to find a way to make that catch.
Either way, though, good coverage by Green on that play. Leads to no play for the wideout. And so, with 11 and a half minutes to go, maybe not a punting situation. Out of the shotgun. They indeed will not punt on 4th and long. Same play down that side of the field. Broken up and unable to come down with it were the Wolfpack. It was that close. I'm sure we'll get another look at it.
Already got it.
Liddy was the intended receiver. Tip drill in full effect, and they couldn't come down with it.
Would have been the play of the century. I thought he ended up making this catch at the end. Tipped right up, and again, almost won the tip drill. Looked like it went off of his helmet at the end of that, too, so he wasn't able to bring that ball in.
That would have been a great play, and also to keep yourself in bounds as well at the end of that play.
Right, he would have been inbounds. That would have been a catch. That would have been a first down.
But how is this for a break, John? Down 22 points. They get the ball to the Hurricanes at the Wolfpack 20-yard line. 1st and 10, and a chance to work their way back into this ball game.
An interesting decision not to punt that football. I mean, they've had there's been some issues with special teams, and especially the wind, as I know we're going to say it a lot, but that's another situation where it might have maybe a factor.
Jarrett Bell out of the shotgun. No one in there with him, and now coming up to play with him is Singleton. Low snap. Singleton gets it on the delayed handoff, and he goes forward for about 4 yards on the play, making something out of nothing there on the poor snap.
It's a good pickup. Again, great way for Bell. Obviously the low snap, but a great way for him to just stay composed and make sure that the play still arrives on schedule. Just staying composed. Bell, even when he's been pressured, even when he's been rushed, I know we see the scoreline, but Bell, he's still been very composed in this game. A calm quarterback, a calm presence, and now his team has an opportunity in a good down and distance right in the red zone.
Well, important, of course, to get positive yards on first down. We talked about that in both directions here this afternoon as we roll into the evening. 2nd down and a little bit more than 5 here, just inside of 6. Pushing Rivera out wide now. He lines up on the far side. Singleton comes in motion, now joins Bell in the backfield. Bell out of the shotgun. Ball never came.
Like a false start.
Yeah, false start on everybody but the center.
Yep.
And just something we've said time and again. You get the 5, you give it right back, and now it's going to be 2nd and a little further than 10.
And now you're beating yourself
right
in terms of this game. There's a prime opportunity for the Hurricanes to go out, start to cut this lead a little bit, dwindle everything down, and you have to imagine it's also 4th down territory no matter where you are at this point of this contest. So now for the Wolfpack, they've got an opportunity to get a big stop and maybe even keep this at a 0 score line for the Hurricanes.
It's part of the reason why you go for it. 4th and 15 at your own 20 is you believe in your defense to get off the field. Again, Singleton works himself into the backfield. Bell, with a good pocket, has to sidestep, working towards the sideline. The catch is made by Grapes. Grapes tiptoes inside the 10. That should be enough for the first down. It is. It'll be 1st and goal for the Hurricanes.
Took a bit of an extra hit at the end there. No flag thrown, but this is a great way for a great route runner to go out, make a play, and we'll see it because this is the throw that this team needed so desperately, and a great way to escape in the pocket as well. Find your receiver, and a big-time play for this Hurricane squad. Still a lot of work left to go, though.
Yeah, that's the 3rd or 4th time that Bell has been able to manufacture some more time in the pocket by sidestepping some of the rush and, finding his safety valve in the flat for, easy positive yardage that time, and Grapes does the rest to get the first down. They work out of the spread once again here. It looks like Collymore is in the backfield this time for the Hurricanes. Bell will work under center. Carpentieri went in motion from left to right, and we got a flag again. Delay a game.
Another one.
Yeah, that's tough. Now, every single drive here for the Hurricanes, they have been racking up the penalty yardage. And again, you're playing against two teams when you do that, John. We've said it. I'm sure the people listening are sick of hearing it from us too, but you got your opponent in front of you, but then you're your own opponent too when you're backing yourselves up. 1st and goal now from just outside the 13.
Right, who's more sick of it, though, are the coaches on the other side instead of the viewers listening to us talk about it. Coaches have to be furious.
Once again, it's Collymore who's in the backfield. I think that's the first time that he's in there. He's going to get the carry, dancing inside the 10, works himself inside the 5 and just short of the goal line. Gain of 10 on the play, makes it a 2nd and goal from the 3.
Huge run for this Hurricane squad. They want to work quickly, it looks like, as well, because at least they get lined up quickly enough.
Well, it pays to get lined up quickly here when you're up against the delay of game penalties. Collymore will stay in the backfield. Bell receives the call from the sideline, and once again will line up under center. 2nd and goal from the 3. And now we have whistles and potentially a timeout here for the Wolfpack. So the Wolfpack have seen enough. Now, perhaps a good call on the other side there, John. Understanding, your team goes 3 and out offensively. They set the Hurricanes up on a short field. Now the Hurricanes kind of popping off some big runs there. Chance to settle your team down, get some air back in the lungs.
You definitely want to settle things down. You've given up a couple big plays, that big run right there. When you give up a big run, it's definitely, again, you got to catch your breath. You've got to figure that out. So a moment for Empire State to also see the look that the Hurricanes were going to show them initially. See that initial look, go out, and see what they were going to do, and you force the Hurricanes to make another call or just come back with the same look, and you're ready for it this time.
Right.
This is a moment early in the season for this Empire State defense to show us who they are this season. Are they that team that's going to be able to go out and get goal line stops consistently on the year? We'll find out.
We will indeed. I'm sure this will not be the first time they'll be backed up inside their own 5. Team breathing down their necks, a chance to regroup here and dial something up defensively, while the Hurricanes, who were working under center before the timeout, now put Bell out of the shotgun with Collymore to his immediate right.
With him in the shotgun, you have to expect maybe a keeper from him here in this situation.
Correct. They got 3 wide receivers here on the left side. You wonder if it's coming that way. Couple of step drop, and now he's bolting for that area outside of the field of play. Grapes did make the catch, but he was well out of bounds, and it'll be 3rd and goal.
Had him go out to his left. A little cross-body throw there. It was going to go out of bounds no matter what. I have to imagine they wanted that short yardage situation, but now you've got a 3rd down and goal. They will go for it, I'd have to imagine, if they end up getting to 4th down.
Yeah. 100%. Clock continues to run here as we are under 6 to play in this 3rd quarter. Reminder, our second game is scheduled for a 7 p.m. start. We'll see what that looks like as we move further towards that time, whether those two teams will get off at the right time. But for now, 3rd and goal. Big play here for the Shaolin Hurricanes, looking for their first points of 2025. Out of the shotgun to give underneath to Collymore, dancing, spinning, and weaving his way towards the goal line. He's just short. That ball is going to be spotted at the 1 yard line. It'll be 4th and goal.
1 yard.
So close to getting into the end zone. Now you find out, do they have the tush push in semi-pro? That's what we're going to find out. But you're right on the doorstep, and for Shaolin, you want to just knock this thing right down. Also, a ton of time is expiring on this drive, like we saw in the second quarter, too.
Right. But, of course, that becomes secondary. That becomes secondary to getting points here, John, as now we have a timeout called by the Wolfpack again. So the Wolfpack have called their second timeout on this drive, stops the clock with 4:43 to go in the third, and the Wolfpack here comfortably ahead, but a touchdown here by the Hurricanes would send a monkey wrench into things. And it'd be a good feather in the cap of this Shaolin team, who once again was shut out 4 times last year. Their first year back in semi-pro after a long absence. The team from Staten Island, New York. And, you know, we take that for granted sometimes too, John, because of the movement of certain players. You see a lot of familiar faces going on different teams. But, you know, it's hard to start an organization. It's hard to get a team out there and organized and playing together, limited practices. And, you know, all things considered, the Hurricanes have put on, you know, a good start and a good foundation here to their organization's success.
They look a lot better than from what we've heard about them from last year. So to see them early in the season, starting things off, yes, they've struggled in this game, but to see an opportunity 1 yard short of a touchdown, again, after a season where they did not score except for one game, they were shut out 4 times, like you mentioned, would be a huge step in the right direction for this organization if they're able to go out and get a touchdown here.
All right, so here we go. They got to have it here. 4th down and goal from the ball at the 1 yard line. It looks like Malik is back. No, actually, it's Singleton in the backfield along with Collymore. The give is to Collymore. There's some pressure there at first. Did he reach the end zone? Yes, he did. Got enough of the plane, and Shaolin is on the board. The hero of the drive, Adrian A.D. Collymore. Caps off a 20-yard drive, John.
We'll get a second, of a 20-yard drive that felt like it took about as long as an 80-yard drive does, and just continuing to churn, continuing to move forward. Great effort to punch it out at the end, but he was already well past the line off after that one. But now the Shaolin Hurricanes step in the right direction for your organization.
And a pretty important 2-point conversion here to get this one to 14. Gives you a little bit of breathing room with these conversions if they're able to make this one. It's again Collymore in the backfield. Tight formation. Now they sprint out and a lot of pressure on his knees and unable to make the completion. That pass thrown in the direction of Alvarez. But the 2-point conversion fails and the score remains 22-6.
Great way for Bell, though, to just stay up, get that ball out at the very least on that 2-point conversion play. He might have been down already. His knees might have been down when he threw that football out, but didn't look like they called it that way. So Bell able to stay up, wasn't able to find his receiver, but he is still showing a ton of effort, a ton of poise for this squad. And now the Shaolin Hurricanes, they've got to score. Now you've got to go out and get a stop. Yes, a lot of time did expire, but they are very much in this game, and the vibes much better right now for this team.
Yeah, and up by 22 points, you can afford to take some chances, John, and the Wolfpack did exactly that by going for it on 4th and 15 from your own 20. But now they have got to tighten up a little bit, and now you look in the other direction. If you're the Hurricanes on their side of the field, you're thinking to yourself, listen, if we can get a turnover here, if we can get a fumble, an interception, which we should have had on that first drive, hey, now we're in business. Now we're right back in this game. And, you know, John, I think they have done enough offensively, have the Hurricanes, to feel pretty good about their chances, you know, down by 16 now with just under 4 minutes to go in the third. Again, if they can get the stops and the ball back, because really, with the exception of the turnovers, they have been able to move the football. That kickoff fielded at the 10. dancing and now falling at the 28-yard line, where the Wolfpack, as Grapes was able to take down the ball carrier number 24.
And kind of going back to your point about Shaolin and the Hurricanes, offensively, a lot of football is just confidence, very simply. Just being confident in yourself, knowing that you have a chance, giving yourself an opportunity. And there is clearly a much more confident vibe, a confident aura around this Hurricane squad. But now the defense just has to go out and get a stop. But this is a brand new ball game here at SUNY Marathon.
And for what it's worth, they did force a 3-and-out on their last drive with the Hurricanes, their first stop of the season. The Wolfpack were 3 for 3 on their drives in the first half, all touchdowns. And now the Wolfpack 1st and 10 at their own 29-yard line to start the drive. It is 0 in the backfield for man in this tight formation. With man working under center, it is the pitch out to that right side. Good gang tackling that time. Carpentieri in on the stop along with Cardenas, able to take down the ball carrier.
Like you said, gang tackling. That's how you can tell that this team feels a lot better about themselves. This defense communicating, getting right onto the football, attacking, that savagery that this team has been lacking in the first half. It's starting to show up here in the second.
Yeah, all hats to the ball. We've heard that before as well, coming up from that sideline, and they made good there. And as for the Wolfpack, still a positive play here, about 3 or 4 yards on that play, especially given that last drive where they had to start with that penalty that backed them up 1st and 20. Bragaglia stays in the backfield for the Wolfpack. Will they continue to run it down their throats? They go to Grizzle on the opposite side. He's got the edge, gets the first down, and popped out of bounds. Finally shoved out. A legal shift is being called the other way. Tackle was eventually made by Isaiah Burrell. But the flag, of course, down in the backfield will back things up for the Wolfpack.
Usually when you see a play with that much success and a flag's on the field, an illegal shift may have happened. It's tough to call that, but that'll back them up about 5 yards. And now, after a big play, could have give you a ton of momentum. Now you need, if you're Shaolin, you have kind of been beating yourself a lot in this game with penalties. You have to make the Empire State Wolfpack. Now they are the ones kind of committing those penalties now.
2nd and 11. We'll see if the Hurricanes can take advantage here of the 2nd and long situation. Bragaglia remains in the backfield for the Wolfpack. That play, of course, the end around to Grizzle, who was working in the backfield too. He's lined up in the slot, and it's the same play, except it's handed off, and a lot of white jerseys in the backfield. First person there was Marcus Haskell, number 52, and then the cavalry came in to finish off Grizzle in the backfield. A loss of about 3 or 4, and that sets up a 3rd down and 15.
And this is the type of defensive possession that this Shaolin team needed so badly.
Yeah.
Force a 3-and-out if you can on this 3rd and 15. You still got to get that stop. But if they're able to get this ball back before the 3rd quarter expires, Shaolin has a big chance to make a comeback in this game.
Absolutely. You will see that swell of confidence come up if they can get a stop here. 3rd and 15. Clock is running. You see it on your screen. We're inside of 2 minutes to go here in the 3rd. And we have a timeout called on the field. And we will see why. Is that the end of the quarter? Yeah, they're going to switch sides here, John. So we are through 3 quarters complete. The Hurricanes get a touchdown back, but they're still behind by 16. Our score at the end of 3. The Wolfpack 22 and the Shaolin Hurricanes 6. John, good to see the Hurricanes scratching their way back. They were helped along a little bit by the Wolfpack, leaving them on the short field. That's been a theme of this game. But a chance here to swing momentum fully in their direction if they're able to get a stop here on 3rd and long.
And they only have the 4th quarter left to go. Thought they had about a minute and a half left, but you look at it from the Hurricanes' perspective, their drives, while they're successful in the second half, they've had their one drive, and it's taken up most of that third quarter. So while the offense is working, if they have another drive like that, they're going to run out of time. So they're working against the clock now at this point. But if you're able to get this stop, you should get pretty good field position, and you have to imagine that the Wolfpack, they might end up going for it on 4th and 15 yet again. Similar spot to what we saw last time. So you can get a golden opportunity if they do that. But we will see what the Wolfpack decide to do in this situation.
So important play coming up here. First play of the fourth quarter. Third down, officially a little less than 15. We can call it an even 15. Ball spotted just inside the 25-yard line. Officially the final 15 here. Some confusion there in the Hurricanes' defensive backfield, and that snap went awry, and it is going to be punted on third down. It pops up at the 49-yard line, and they did call a fair catch at the 49, and it was taken by Michael Hooks. But now we do have a player in the backfield for the Wolfpack who's looks like he's shaken up on the play. That's Sawicki, number 81. And John, I don't know really how to unpack that play at all. It was a poor snap.
I don't either.
And it was third down. It was third down and 15. And instead of just throwing the ball out of bounds and living for the fourth down, they decided to punt it.
It seemed to be kind of a panic play because he got pressured a ton. The snap was loose. And in those moments, you kind of forget where you are at times. So you may have thought it was fourth down because that doesn't seem like something you would tell somebody if you're a coach. You go, oh, we're going to punt this here on third down. You're at least going to run the ball a bit, especially because you're up. So definitely a lot to unpack. And then the fair catch signal still ran with it. Doesn't matter if it bounces. It's still a fair catch when you call it like that. So just a lot of – I'm sure if a football coach just watched that play, they're probably, their ears are steaming right now.
I think the saving grace of that punt on third down, John, is that conceivably, if you're just going to throw that away anyway, it's going to be 4th and 15 regardless. So you're going to punt it on fourth down anyway, so they just got it over with instead of maybe throwing it away or taking a loss or fumbling it away. So I guess in the interest of safety, they're able to get that one away. But regardless, with a lot of time remaining in this one, 14:43 remaining, the Hurricanes here have a chance. They have been able to move the football here, even in the first half before they turned the ball over twice. They were able to move the ball down the field. Let's see if they could do it here in this fourth quarter. Down by 16 and needing the full breadth of 2 touchdowns and 2 two-point conversions. Bell has good time. Sidesteps, tries to get through a couple of would-be tackles, is successful, and gets stood up at about the 50-yard line after a gain of about 5.
Jared Bell continuing to fight for extra yards on these plays.
And now we have a late flag.
Wow.
Well after the play. We'll get a chance to see it again. We don't have a really good chance to see everything going on down the field for Bell, but you could see he did have a good initial time here. Thought about the screen underneath, and once he elects to kind of tuck it down, that's all they can do. Now,
you see the penalty.
Yep, and it was against the Wolfpack, and the ball has been moved up 15 more yards from the spot of the foul. So, we talk about teams hurting themselves. The Wolfpack punted away on third down and long, and now we have another flag. And I think this might be against Ty Lopez, who is continuing to carry on for the Wolfpack. And if they add 15 more yards to this, John, you're looking at a 5-yard gain that's going to turn into a 35-yard gain when it's all said and done.
Yeah, he was just very much still yelling at the end of that play. And I'd have to imagine that's what that was called on. He was on the field. Not exactly sure where he was talking to, but had to have been It looked like to his own team he was talking to at that moment.
Yep, and the Hurricanes want to go quickly because that clock is moving. You saw the white hat, of course, giving direction to keep that clock continuing to move after the 5-yard rushing play. Bell barking out orders to the right and left of the line of scrimmage. Works under center. And it's going to be a pitch out, but not before a flag down and false start. It was Grapes who got off to a flying start down the field and will back up 5 yards.
If only he got away with it on that play, but again, another penalty. We've had a sloppy second half compared to the first half from what we could see.
Well, there were quite a number of penalties in the first half as well. It's just getting compounded here in the second.
Right.
But 1st and 15 now, of course. The goal here is the end zone no matter what for the Hurricanes. They'll use all 4 downs to do it. Malik is the lone setback. Collymore, who was dynamic on that last drive, is in the slot on the near side. Now he comes in motion, guards the tight end. Keep an eye out for him. We have a pitch out to Malik on the left side, turns towards the inside, now popping back out, has a lane and is close to the first down and seemingly has it.
And
Good
right when they turn
effort.
the lights on.
And there is a flag that is down at the 15-yard line, right near the hash marks. Blocking downfield, perhaps the Wolfpack like the call. And we'll keep our attention on the official here. Dead ball and a penalty on the Hurricanes.
Seemed like he had a little bit to say after this play, after making that run. This is right at the sideline. A great run to get that first down, though, but see if we can tell exactly where the penalty. Yeah, he's talking right to the other team.
Yep, unsportsmanlike again.
Yep.
Taunting number 5.
And that was against Malik. You were right, John. After the play, popping off a little bit verbally. And that hurts because now you had a 1st down and 10 at about the 10-yard line, very close to the first down. Now the ball's been spotted back at the 27. So you're looking at a 2nd down and 17.
Might have something more here, too.
Is there more? Now they're coming over to the Shaolin sideline to explain the infraction, I believe, unless they're adding to it. Malik is oh, yeah, because if that's the 2nd call on Malik, he's gone.
He's done, right.
Yeah, he's gone.
Wow. So he's done for the day, and he's been a big playmaker for this team, too.
It's unfortunate because he had such a positive play, and then you go and ruin it by taking the 15-yard penalty. So what would have been a 2nd and 2 becomes a 2nd and 17. And you're out of the game. So you're down a weapon as well. Singleton comes into the backfield to take over for Malik. Keep your eye on the clock here. It is moving. 11:10 remaining in this 4th quarter. The Hurricanes need to score twice. 5 wide receivers set. Trips on the far side. Singleton comes back in. And the give is underneath and bobbing and twisting his way to about the 26. Minimal gain on the play, about 2 yards. And it'll be a 3rd down and 15 coming up. Maybe a little bit more.
Right. Well, what could have been a moment where they got a big run right down by the 10-yard line now turns into a 3rd and forever in a spot where you will need to go for it, too. You're not even in the red zone anymore. This is a team primed to the red zone, a moment where you have to try to make a comeback. You're just stuck here at about the 30-yard line, about 25-yard line here.
Yeah,
26.
If the Hurricanes end up losing this game, and that's the way it's trending, then they're going to break this game down tomorrow, John, and think about the ways that they hurt themselves as well. The Wolfpack did a good job as their opponent today, but the Hurricanes have hurt themselves repeatedly. Now on a 3rd down and long, let's see what they have to offer here. 3rd and about 16. Fake give underneath to Singleton, who stays into block. Now Bell has to make his own time, and that's almost intercepted. In and out of the hands of number 8. We do not have a number 8 on our Wolfpack roster, unfortunately, to give him his flowers, but it'll be 4th down and long, and the Hurricanes perhaps down to their last gasps here with 9.5 minutes to go.
It's a moment where you don't mind that we don't have your name there. Dropped interception, obviously a good play defensively to get out in front of that football, but he might have been going for 6 if he breaks a tackle or 2. But that does force 4th and 15.
Oh, he's doing the push-ups there.
Right, yep, have to.
At the
You have
20-yard
to.
line.
You have to do the push-ups. He's doing a lot of push-ups,
yeah,
too.
Maybe one for each yard he could have had.
Yeah, he'll have to do about 80.
Yeah.
It was about
all right, the push-ups were impressive, though.
15 push-ups, pretty good. That's why he's playing football.
Either way, 4th down and long here, 16 yards. They have to get to the 10. They have to dial something up good here. Once again, 4 wide receiver set. Collymore stops in the slot position, and once again running for his life is Bell. Bell's going to head towards the sideline, turns up in, but he's going to be well short of the 1st down. He got about 2 or 3 on the play, but it'll be a turnover on downs, and the Wolfpack will take over. 8.5 minutes to go in this 4th quarter. Up by 16, the Wolfpack will get the ball back.
I'm surprised he didn't at least try to get this ball down the field. Nobody was open, though, and you don't want to force anything. But 4th down and 15, game's kind of on the line at this point. Surprised there wasn't a play made. He was kind of trying to force a late hit as well on the sideline. Didn't get it, and now the Wolfpack, big position to kill a ton of clock here.
Absolutely, and I would venture to guess we'll see a lot of running here on this drive by the Wolfpack. Look to cobble together a couple of 1st downs and come out of here in the Bronx with a victory and improving to 1-0. Once again, the Wolfpack finishing 5-1 a season ago during the regular season. And, of course, losing in the semifinals last year to the upstart Crusaders, who fell in the Big East Championship a year ago. The Wolfpack looking to get back there. The sweep, pitch out to the right side and move plowing forward for a gain of about 5 down the other way. That was Bragaglia again on the run. Gain of about 7 on that play. Clock continues to run. Next time we have a short break in the action, we'll pop up the schedules for both of these teams. We'll get a sense of what they have ahead of them. Taking their time as we go inside of 7 minutes to go here. The Wolfpack will stay in their tight formation.
A lot of time expiring already.
Absolutely.
Only one play ran.
As Bragaglia continues to stay in the backfield for the Wolfpack, and the give is straight up the middle, and he makes a couple guys miss. That ball is down. That is a fumble. That ball was down. That play should not have been stopped. That was a live football, but they are saying a dead ball at about the 37-yard line. We got a really great look at it. That ball was down, and it was flailing about. Maybe we'll see it again. Maybe we could slow it down a little bit, John, when we get to that point. Yeah, it looked like it was still on the ground there.
It might have actually been down.
Yeah.
Let's go back and check it. See on this play, we'll see if we can see exactly when that forearm hits the ground. That ball came out.
Yeah, it was out.
That ball came out.
It was out.
No doubt about it.
All right, so 1st and 10, though. Wolfpack catch a break there with the clock just over 6 minutes to go here. They get themselves a new, fresh set of downs.
If only they had the benefit of PDF instant replay.
Right. Pitch out again. This time it's Lopez. Tries to stay in bounds and does. Breaks a tackle, runs over a Hurricane. Lopez down the sideline and put a cap on that one. He scores the hat trick, his 3rd touchdown. 63 yards. And Lopez flattened Burrell on the play on the way to pay dirt.
I've got to check this out again. Like you said, flatten him. My goodness. It just looked like it was going to be stopped right there and then just hit the boomstick, and he's gone after that. What a run. That's an angry run. That is an angry run for this Wolfpack team to what should be the capper on this one. My goodness.
Unofficially, 5:43 remaining in the fourth, and easily the longest play from scrimmage in this game as well. 63 yards, Lopez with his third touchdown. He has scored from 13 yards out, 6 yards out, and now 63 yards out.
And he had that penalty before on the sideline.
He did.
And completely made up for it after that. Now this team approaching 30 points on the day.
What was interesting, too, John, is it looked like he was just trying to stay in bounds,
right.
Just trying not to go out of bounds to stop the clock, and it turned out to be a wise decision, and you could tell that low center of gravity, getting down, head down. There's a timing pattern in the end zone for the two-point conversion, and it is caught. Two-point conversion successful. Flag coming in after the play, but the Wolfpack will go up 30-6 on the successful two-point conversion. Of course, we'll see what this penalty flag is all about. We'll get another look at that.
May have been more talking.
Yeah, I'm sure it was after the play, and it was against the Wolfpack. Nice little timing pattern there into the slot. Good hookup for man.
Yeah, I'm looking down on him. That'll draw the flag every single time.
Yeah.
But still counts, still 30-6.
Get a chance to see what's upcoming for both of these teams in next few weeks for the Shaolin Hurricanes. They will be on Staten Island to take on the New England Golden Lions next week, a 5 o'clock start there. And you see their schedule, 7 games right now on it. They have the bye on April 12th. And, of course, you have the week off for Easter. So they'll have a big break between April 6th and April 26th when they play the Bengals. Of course, a couple of TBA games with start times. And then we take a look at the Empire State Wolfpack coming up next week. They'll undoubtedly be 1-0, facing off against the Green Wave. As you could see, their first 4 games of the season, 4 of their first 5 at home. This, of course, a neutral site game, but they'll have their bye on the 26th. So they, too, will have a big gap between April 12th and the May 3rd, between Easter and their bye. And then, of course, they'll resume their schedule. But they, too, have 7 games on their schedule. The other teams, some of the other teams have 8 games on their schedule. But both these teams will be back in action next week. And for the Empire State Wolfpack, kicking off from their own 20 here after the 15-yard personal foul penalty. 4:20 remaining now. The clock has been adjusted for the right time. And that one kicked inbounds this time and taken by Burrell. Burrell with a move, cuts back to the inside and is tripped up at the 35-yard line just inside. And again, maybe that's the reason why you're kicking out of bounds on most of your kickoffs, to prevent the big play on the special team side of the ball. But the Empire State Wolfpack in control. They're up by 24 points in this one. They had a 22-point lead at the end of the game's first half. And undoubtedly looking at a 1-0 start and sending the Hurricanes to 0-1.
And what a start. I mean, after, again, your last game being a loss in the semifinal to the Crusaders, you come out against the Hurricanes, a team that you know has improved after last season. This is just a statement win for the Wolfpack to start out their year here at SUNY Maritime. Dominant, physical. I mean, you saw that big run. If you missed it, go back, because it was a phenomenal run. Statement win so far for the Wolfpack, unless if Shaolin's able to get a miracle.
It looks like we have a new quarterback in the game for the Shaolin Hurricanes. Got to pick up the number here. It looks like might be Rivera, but he does give over to Collymore. Collymore gets held up at the 35, wants to switch directions, and actually, did he lateral that?
I might have thought
John?
about it.
I think he did. I think he lateraled it or he fumbled it, and it got advanced a couple of yards.
Just see from the point of when
he got
ball.
He got held up. He definitely wasn't the guy last with the ball. I know that. It might have been a fumble.
Yeah. Great awareness to just pick it right back up.
Yeah, now it is Jaden Rivera in at quarterback for the Hurricanes after the 2-yard gain on second down, on a very eventful 2-yard gain.
Right. We saw him warming up on the sideline. Wasn't sure if that meant an official substitution was going to be made at quarterback.
We do have a timeout. That is the 2-minute warning. So we have the 2-minute warning here on the field. Both teams will stay exactly where they are. We'll get this one reset. Again, the Hurricanes down by 24, just looking for something to hang their hat on here at the end of this game, another positive play or two. Certainly have the time to go down the field and try to get their second score. Rivera from out of the shotgun, looking perhaps for the option, now weaves in between a couple of tacklers and is very close to the first down, maybe a yard short. Now we got some guys mixing it up at about the 40-yard line.
We should already also have a offside penalty on the defense.
Yeah, that one got off to kind of a jerky start there, John. It looked like Rivera got the ball a little bit late, it seemed. That's just because the Wolfpack were offside on the play. Clock continues to run here. The ball will be placed at the 31-yard line. So after all of that, a net gain of about 2 on the play. And it'll set up a 3rd down and about 7.
Again, the Hurricanes with decent field position, under 2 minutes left to go now. You just want to find a way to maybe get into the end zone, send yourself into the next week, into a week of practice as well, just on a better note. This is a rough way to end the game.
It's a pretty decent run by Rivera on that last play. Right. I guess I don't know what the flag was about, John. I thought it was against the defense, but still, I guess they took the down, but they didn't really advance the ball 5 yards.
Right. Not exactly sure how that ended up winding down.
So it's still 2nd down as a result of the penalty. Meanwhile, Rivera struggling. Collymore picks it up. He has to revert at his own 40. Absorbs a hit. Fumble on the play. It is picked up by the Wolfpack, and they're going the other way. Will they catch up to him? They will. And it was Caballero on the pickup of the fumble and returning it the other way. And that could have been the final play of this game, and indeed it is. So we have gone final here at SUNY Maritime. The game ends on a truly eventful play. A lot happening on that one. And we'll get one last look at the replay and unpacking all of that here. Rivera, of course, fumbles the snap. Collymore does his best, but then gets walloped at the 40. And then Caballero, right place at the right time, and almost was able to take it for the final 6 of the game. Good job to get back into the play by the Hurricanes to save the touchdown. But that will be final here from SUNY Maritime. You see it on your screen. The Wolfpack took a 22-0 lead into halftime. Both teams had a touchdown in the second half, and the Wolfpack, a very emphatic 1-0 start.
Absolutely. It's exactly the way you want to start your season. A big win, dominant fashion. Shaolin Hurricanes, they had at the moment with 22-7. They almost had an opportunity to go get the ball back and make this a football game. So there's still plenty to hang your hat on if you're Shaolin, and you get a touchdown. You end up scoring after a season where you only scored in one of your games. So there's still a lot to take away positively for the Hurricanes, but from a Wolfpack perspective, they're looking for revenge this season. They're looking to stamp themselves because there will be a new champion in this league this year, and the Wolfpack, they are on their way to being that champion, but still plenty of football left to be played. We got another game after this, so we got a doubleheader still out there in New Haven. So still a lot of Big East football left to be played today, but a big win for the Wolfpack.
They said they wanted to ground and pound, win at the line of scrimmage, and 4 rushing touchdowns will do that. Jaden Mann started things off with a 4-yard touchdown run in the first quarter. That made it 6-0. And then it was the Ty Lopez show. He ran in from 13 yards and 6 yards in the second quarter. That opened up the 22-0 lead. Collymore had a 1-yard touchdown run for the Hurricanes to make it 22-6, but Ty Lopez, 63 yards to the house, really put a punctuation mark on this game. That results in the final score that you see on the screen. So as both teams huddle up at midfield, we will get this game finalized. Want to throw a huge thank you to our camera operator battling the wind and the cold up there above us, Vincent Massico. Great job. For my partner, John McCooch, I'm David Pizzuto, wishing you a great rest of the evening. But what we are going to do is break this game and call this one. Don't forget that the second game between the Dolphins and the Green Wave will be a completely separate link. So look for that on the PDF Sports Network YouTube page. From all of us here at SUNY Maritime, we wish you the best here. Game 1 in the books. Your final score, the Wolfpack 30 and the Shaolin Hurricane 6. Thanks for watching.